We
Live.
should be live. All right.
Yes, sir.
What's up, everyone? I hope you guys are having a good evening. I'm Ryan. You guys know that already, with my co-host Dylan Backer, and we have a special guest, the king of Yankees Twitter, Mario Gomez. Mario, I appreciate you coming on. Dylan actually is the one who set this up, so Dylan, you guys got to give your praise and your thanks to Dylan for getting this set up. I was walking to work, and he shoots me a text message, and I was hyped for it. So with that being said, the Yankees are coming off a series win against Seattle. I think I know they lost that third game and they got blanked, but I thought it was a very encouraging series. You score 10 runs in that second game. I think they scored nearly 10 in the first game. We'll go around the kind of room here. Mario, we'll start with you. Coming off of a series coming off of a series against the Mariners, red hot, great pitching, and you go in there and you clobber them. How do you feel coming after that series, and how do you feel going ahead into this Dodgers series?
Well, right. Thank you guys for having me on. I took a day to digest what happened last night. Obviously, last night losing to Kirby, top pitcher in the AL, I think one of the best. I mean, his fastball, all speed is fantastic. Dude, we need Judge. First off, off the bat, we need Aaron Judge. If the Yankees want to go deep into the playoffs, you need Aaron Judge to be the table setter. But dude, IKF, man, I think he's been like the talk of Yankees Twitter lately, bro. He's been phenomenal. What he had 4 hits on what was it?
He
Tuesday?
had four
Tuesday, I think
RBIs.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing his thing. So, I mean, it was a great series. You win the first two. And listen, I didn't expect much out of Clark Schmidt, even though, me and you, we like him. We like his stuff, but more towards the bullpen probably later in the season. But, I mean, dude, winning those first two games were huge. And then game three is, just hoping that we put some runs up for him. We didn't, unfortunately, but, I mean, we got great starting pitching out of him. The bullpen was good. What happens in extras. We had our chances late in the game, didn't capitalize, but I was pretty happy overall with the series and, excited for LA.
Yeah, no, and then I mean, the first two games, Yankees put up big offensive numbers. They scored 10 runs both times. You know, IKF had the big game, 4 hits, 4 RBIs. We got yet another IKF game this year, more than one IKF game, which something we're pretty happy about. Aaron Judge continuing to do Aaron Judge things. He now has 18 home runs already. I mean, he's literally doing it again, which is insane. We all thought maybe 62 was impossible to replicate, but it doesn't seem so far out of reach now at the pace he's at. And it's even more impressive given that he literally missed 10 games with an injury and he's still doing this. It's only makes us wonder just how many he would really have if he didn't miss those games, because he seemed like he was finally starting to heat up right before that injury. He comes back, he just continues to hit, and he's still doing that. Last night, obviously was completely opposite of those first two games, a 1-0 loss. I guess we got our yearly 1-0 extra innings loss out the way, so at least we have that. But George Kirby, excellent for Mariners. I mean, he was phenomenal. I can't really criticize much about the Yankees when they're facing a tough pitcher like that. Obviously, you wish the offense played better, but they were missing a bunch of guys. Harrison Bader just went down. They were still playing Willie Calhoun, Jake Bauers in the lineup, all that stuff. So can't say I expected much again, and I can't say I expected them to score 10 runs again. And you kind of just had a feeling the offense would cool down at some point. So this off day comes at a good time. You still won the series. You lost the last game 1-0. It's unfortunate, but at least you got a good Clark outing, which is something we haven't gotten a whole lot of this year. I know you two are high on Clark Schmidt. I'm not high on Clark Schmidt, but lately he has been a lot better, so I'm happy for that. And I think the big thing today, all the roster moves today. We got Stanton, Donaldson, Canley back. Cabrera's down in AAA now after struggling. We didn't get to see Matt Crook in action, unfortunately. He came down. Probably could have maybe pitched on what was it, Tuesday when we were up 10-2. Maybe he could have came in that game. Unfortunately, he didn't. He didn't get a chance to really showcase his stuff in the major league level just yet. So his time is not now, unfortunately. But I kind of just want to, ask you guys, I'll start with Ryan first. What do you look forward to mostly from, these guys coming back in the Dodgers series, specifically, like Stanton, Donaldson, those type of guys? What are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, no. So one of the big things I think is really important for us to, talk about is the Yankee bullpen has kind of felt thin a lot of times late in games that they've had to push a lot of guys. So having Tommy Canley in there is really important. Like I can point to multiple games against the Rays. You think about that game against Cleveland that Holmes comes in and you feel like you shouldn't have gone to Holmes there, but the bullpen is so thin that you really don't have a lot of options. Having a guy like Tommy Canley, that fixes things, right? And I feel like a lot of guys in the back end of that bullpen performing kind of up and down. There are stretches where they're really good. There are stretches where Abreu can throw, a scoreless inning, strike out 2 guys, have a nasty sinker. Then there are outings where he goes in there and he gets slapped around, right? So the inconsistency there, that's where you miss guys like a Tommy Canley or a Lou Trevino or a Jonathan Loaisiga, where, more times than not, with runners on in big spots, they're going to come up clutch. Obviously, Giancarlo Stanton's a big addition back. I don't think I have to go too much into why, Giancarlo Stanton's such a big addition. And then Josh Donaldson, he's kind of the X factor here, right? Mario, I definitely want to get your take here on Josh Donaldson, but, in AAA, he's hitting the ball hard in his rehab assignment, right? That's obviously a good sign. He had a really good spring training, hit the ball well. That's a good sign. But it's fair to be down on Josh Donaldson coming off his year in 2022. He's an older guy, right? There's a lot of reasons to be down on Josh Donaldson. If you want to nitpick and have some batted ball data of late, that could help him maybe. But, definitely a big X factor, definitely a guy that I'm not really sure how to feel of any other way. I definitely would say I would buy stock on him if I had to make a choice, but I still he's such a big question mark where, third base is a position where the Yankees have been a question mark for a few years now. So if he can give them anything, if he can be, just a solid hitter with great defense, you're going to take it. It's going to be a great addition to have, but that's if, right? So, big X factor here, but Mario, what do you think about these 3 guys coming back? And again, I really want to hear what you got to say about Donaldson.
Well, let me go to Canley first. So like you were saying, yeah, our bullpen's pretty thin. I mean, I wasn't too crazy about the Ron move yesterday, but you used King the night before. It was only Wandy. Holmes already got 5 outs in the game, so you pretty much had to go do Ron in that spot. And he hasn't been great this year. I think the ERA is at 4 now. At least of late, he hasn't been great. But like I said, you don't really have your top end guys. No Lou Trevino, which I know a lot of people aren't crazy because he came from Oakland, but I think he's pretty good. Loaisiga's out until August, I believe. So you didn't have a lot of your top guys. So bullpen thin. So Canley coming back definitely helps. Giancarlo Stanton. It might take him a couple games, to get into it, start hitting, but the more pitching he sees is going to help him. I thought maybe a game down at Somerset, he plays a game down there, goes, I think 0 for 3 with a walk, and they just bring him up like that. That was kind of questionable for me, but maybe, he really wants to play in California. He loves playing in Los Angeles. Hit a homer during the All-Star game last year, so he probably maybe pushed the Yankees' hand. He's like, listen, Boone, I want to be there. I want to contribute, help the team. Even though the team's hitting, without him, besides last night, of course, but he wanted to come back. But yeah, my guy JD, going to him. You sent me some data on him that kind of made me, got me a little bit excited, more excited than I was already, I already am. But I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I love the guy. He's a Yankee. I want him to succeed. But on the other hand, it's age. Father time's undefeated, no matter what sport you're talking about. So, you're going to get the defense. The defense is going to be there. Every Yankee fan says it. You're just hoping you get some pop because DJ LeMahieu hasn't been great. He has some spurts this year, a week or 2 where he's been doing his thing. But I think he's hitting 2-something. He hasn't been great. That's been kind of the talk on Yankees Twitter. The DJ LeMahieu contract, was that a mistake for the Yankees to make at the time? You're like, dude, that's a bargain for DJ LeMahieu. What, 6 years, $90 million, something around that. But now it's DJ with the toe. I read a couple articles about him before the season, how he should have gotten surgery for the toe. I don't know if it's an injury, what's going on right now, but just hoping JD can give us some pop. I know the defense is going to be there, but just hoping for some, extra base hits, home runs, stuff like that. So I don't know, dude. I'm nervous at the same time, but again, our offense has been clicking. So I hope he can help, some way. Like I said, the glove's going to be there, but hopefully the extra base hits and homers.
Yeah, no, and I wanted to touch on LeMahieu because, like you said, LeMahieu hasn't been performing super good this year, unfortunately, and especially lately. He's in a big drought. I know he had a multi-hit game the other night, but then he kind of went right back down to where he was in that slump. It kind of makes me kind of just wish, ironically, I'm hoping Donaldson actually does something good. I'm looking forward to seeing him back, which is oddly weird because Donaldson has been someone I'm not very high on, of course. I know Mario's very high on Donaldson, so I don't want to be mean about that here, but, I've never been big on Donaldson since he came here. I love the guy. I thought he was a good player, but he's well past that now. His age has caught up to him. He's just not good anymore. It's unfortunate, not fully in his control. Of course, like you said, the defense you'll still get. He's still a good defender, so at least he's a plus on some aspect of the game, but given DJ's poor performance of late, I mean, it kind of just leaves me hoping if Donaldson can maybe turn things around, that'll give us something on that left side of the infield, because unfortunately it's been a little desolate on that side. I know we have rookie Anthony Volpe at shortstop. I'm not going to drag on Volpe, but the guy is hitting below 200, so that is unfortunate right there. And he's had his few rookie mistakes, so you're gonna have that. But it's bad to have that when you don't have a good third base situation right now either. And given how LeMahieu has been performing kind of not so good lately, of course I'm not over here saying LeMahieu's been, oh my God, terrible, but he has not been DJ LeMahieu. He hasn't been the guy we expected him to be. So that's unfortunate. So we just got to hope that Donaldson kind of like steps it up a little bit. You know what I mean? And of course, like to add on like Stanton and Canely, you're going to feel their presence right away. Once Stanton went down, you felt his absence immediately. You immediately felt it. Even if he's struggling, you still feel his presence in the lineup. You know what I mean? And when he's out of the lineup, you feel it immediately, because then you're down a big bat, big power bat, big bopper. You're down a huge bat. I mean, like, you need that. You need that guy in the lineup as much as possible. They've been talking about playing Stanton in the field still here and there. Me personally, I value his bat way more than his glove. As long as the man can stay healthy, I don't care if he DHs every game the rest of the season. I just need him to be in the lineup as much as possible. They need his bat more than his glove, and that's without a doubt. And, with Canely, the bullpen has been shot all year, and yet they still have the best bullpen ERA in baseball. So that's pretty impressive in itself. I think they're the only team with a bullpen ERA below 3. So that's pretty good. But having Canely back will still be huge, because, you won't have to worry about using guys like, Ryan Weber or, Marinaccio in close situations. He hasn't been so effective this year. You'll have another guy that you can rely on in more high leverage spots, because Canely's done it before. He did it with our organization back in 2018. So, you'll feel their return right away. And it's just relieving that we have those kind of guys back, because we've been so badly injured this year. It feels like it's just a revolving door of next guy up for injuries and this and that. But, it is what it is. You just got to live and move on. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a 162 game season. I kind of want to pivot though to the next topic here about Cabrera getting sent down to AAA. I mean, the guy's been slumping this year, straight up. I mean, he's hitting below 200. He only had 3 home runs. He was projected to be our everyday left fielder. That has not panned out. They ended up becoming the utility guy. Still hasn't been panning out. So I personally think sending him down to AAA was the complete right decision. I feel like you kind of just have to tweak some things over there, get your swing right, get something going a little bit, and then I feel like he'll come back up at some point. But I do think right now was a good time to send him down. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my part of this brief because, man, I one, because my throat for some reason is acting up, but two, because I will like Cabrera's one of my favorite players in all of baseball, so this really sucked. I had been planning to get a plant named Oswaldo Cabrera over the winter. Unfortunately, Binghamton is not the best place to get a plant over the winter. But yeah, no, like this sucks, man. We're gonna have to delay the whole plant thing for now. But yeah, no, like Cabrera's one of my favorite players. He deserved to get sent down. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend he didn't. The Yankees had better options on their roster. And quite frankly, I'm just going to say it flat out. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has been the better utility guy, right? And there's no reason to really carry 2 and 3 utility guys on the roster. You are getting a guy like Stanback. I know people don't like Donaldson, but I got to figure out what Donaldson is at the very least. And I'm not going to DFA him to keep Cabrera on the roster, considering Cabrera hasn't hit very well. So, hopefully he gets his things sorted out in AAA, but man, that really sucked to see, man. I thought, because I kind of anticipated it. I didn't think it was going to sting when it happened, but it stung, man. I think I was more sad about him getting sent down than the loss, honestly, because I was like, all right, whatever. Yankees always do this in Seattle. The third game, they'll win the first 2, and the third game is always just kind of a wash. But yeah, that sucked, man. He deserved it, but it sucked. Mario, what do you got for me, bud?
I mean, dude, it sucked because of the quote. I thought you were going to go into that a little bit. The quote after the game, Kirshner was saying how, like he basically said, like, I mean, he told me kind of the same thing along the lines of when I met him. He's like, people come to watch us, like people wear my necklace. Like, that's something that, like, I dream of as a kid. My mom and dad are super supportive of me. Even if I go, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, they're still going to tell me I did amazing. And I know some Yankee fans are like, dude, you didn't do amazing. You struck out 4 times. All you did was play defense. But, dude, his parents are going to be supportive of him. That's good parenting, at the end of the day. But on the baseball side of things, yeah, it was the right decision, definitely. I mean, he just needs a reset down there. I know his buddy Peraza is killing it. I don't know, maybe they could just Peraza could give him like some encouraging words because, at the end of the day, obviously, Aaron Boone cares about the guys, but it's about results. It's a results based like business. That's how it is. So they don't care about feelings. Unfortunately, as much as we like the kid, we all three of us agree that it was the right decision for him to go down. We're just hoping he tweaks a couple things in his swing, and hopefully we see him around. August helps us in the playoffs. Excuse me. And yeah, he plays third or wherever we need him, and he's playing 3 to 4 days a week. That's another thing I wanted to touch on real quick. I don't think his role was to play 5 to 6 days a week like the Yankees had him playing. That's why the injuries to Giancarlo Stanton and Josh Donaldson were so big, because Cabrera wouldn't be playing 5 to 6 days a week pretty much every game. Towards the end, of course, he stopped playing that much because the bat was that bad. And, the Yankees, we needed some offense, especially with Judge being out for the period of time he was out. But yeah, man, it was the right decision, and it hurts because he's a great guy, and, we love him. The fan base loves him. But like I said, hopefully he goes down there, he kills it, gets some confidence back, gets that swagger back, and then helps us out when he's back. So.
Yeah, no, and I just wanted to touch on too. I love the kid too, and I love the versatility he brings. The fact that you could kind of throw him in anywhere on the field and he'll, do his job. But it was just the right decision to send him down. As much as we wish he was still up here right now and still raking like he was last season when he came up, that it was just the right decision to bring him back down. Need to tweak some things, fix that swing up a little bit. Get better barrel rate, get better contact rate, strike out less. That's a big thing because he was striking out quite a lot for someone that wasn't doing that much last year. So, fix those things up. Hopefully at some point he'll come back up because I already know we're going to need him at some point. I just know it's going to happen. Somebody might get hurt again or someone might be struggling and they're going to bring him back down and bring Cabrera back up. And like you said, Mario, that was a valid point too. They probably weren't envisioning playing him almost every single day. They probably envisioned him as a utility guy to play a couple times a week, but unfortunately he had to play more often, and maybe he wasn't anticipating that. So maybe it's that. Whatever it is, hopefully he fixes that in AAA, gets that mind right, gets the bat right, all that stuff, get figured out, reset, and come back up and contribute to a winning team. Now, I do want to ask Ryan, are we gonna get to comments about?
Yeah, I figured we'd get to comment, cover some of the big stuff and then head to the comments here. So
yeah, I figured we would get to that.
I'm gonna start with Bryce, who just says hello. What's going on? Oh, okay. This messes up the graphics a little bit, so I'm gonna have to think smarter here. Hold on, I just realized.
No problem.
There has to be a different way to do this. I guess not. Okay. So I guess I'll briefly display it and then I'll kind of put it away. I'll read out just so that we don't look goofy the entire time.
We can display it when we say it, and then when we give our thoughts on it, we can put it away.
Yeah, John Blue just says hello. Same thing with Trevor. Jack Schmell says how many times
that's my boy. That's one of my boys.
How many times can this team get injured? It's not fair at this point or a coincidence. Yeah. Look, I get, and I want you guys to chime in on this as well. I don't want to overstep anything here, but the Yankees, weirdly enough, Judge got hurt stealing third base in a 5-0 game. How many times has Aaron Judge tried to steal third in a
not even just that, but Giancarlo Stanton got hurt jogging to second base.
Dude,
whatever. He wasn't running full sprint. And he
if you remember the Minnesota series, he slid into the outfield wall. He was fine, but he walks the second he gets hurt. Baseball is such a cruel sport, man.
I mean, even Bader too.
Seattle,
I didn't even know what happened. He looked fine, and the next thing I know, he's getting taken out of the game. I'm like,
he beat out the signal.
I'm like, what happened? Yeah,
Yankees fans get mad when Glaber's. Yeah, Yankees fans get mad when Glaber. That's my guy. Glaber's running down the line, and you get a guy like Bader running down the line. Then he pulls something. And you're like, dude, why are you running down the line? But that's what you guys want. So it's you can't have the best of both worlds. And unfortunately, some of these guys are just fragile. They're right down the line. They pull something.
Especially the bigger guys, man. It happens. That's just what happens when you got, a 6'7" frame and a 280-pound, body to work with. Then you're gonna be more susceptible to it. It's just that's how it happens.
Yeah, when you're built like a tight end, the best tight end in football, things like that are gonna happen. But no,
when you're built like that or built like a power forward,
Yeah, or even the bullpen. I know we have the best bullpen ERA. Our bullpen's really good, right? But the Lou Trevino injury, dude pitched 1 inning in spring training and has to get Tommy John surgery. Maybe I completely missed this part of Lou Trevino's scouting report. The dude was a bulldog for the Oakland A's. He pitched a lot with us, and then he gets hurt. Or last year, Ron Marinaccio has a shin issue that knocks him out for the postseason.
Crazy.
I'm not saying, yes, when you sign a Carlos Rodon, when Carlos Rodon gets hurt, you're not surprised per se. But when it's not like a recurring issue, it's a back thing. He's never been on the IL with a back thing, right? It's just like,
Don't forget about Matt Carpenter shattering
oh
his
my
foot on a
gosh.
foul
Yeah.
ball.
Matt
Like,
Carpenter
our
in
luck.
Seattle.
Unlucky.
Our
Yeah.
luck,
Yeah,
man.
in Seattle.
And Andrew Benintendi. The only reason Cabrera became the
Handmade
left
bone.
fielder down the stretch was because Benintendi takes a swing, he's heating up, and he breaks his hamate bone.
Dude, baseball is tough.
Unlucky, man.
Yeah.
Baseball is tough
Unlucky. It's a
sometimes.
grueling sport. You know, injuries are gonna happen, but man, some of these injuries just feel like terrible luck.
Yeah, we
Like-
can sit here and like nitpick certain roster decisions and like why'd you trade for this guy, acquire that guy, like the Montas thing. We can question why that happened. But am I gonna like? I can't even like. I feel like even if you're the biggest Brian Cashman hater in the world, what exactly are you supposed to do about the Benintendi and Carpenter things? You
There's
went
nothing you
out
could
and
do.
got a
Yeah,
left
there's
fielder.
nothing,
Nothing
bro.
you can do.
Like I know a
There's
lot of people
nothing.
complained when Hicks was starting. Do you know how many times the Yankees tried to replace Aaron Hicks? They tried it with Joey Gallo. He couldn't work in New York. They tried it with Andrew Benintendi. He broke his hamate bone. Matt Carpenter was part of the outfield mix. Breaks his foot. Cabrera was supposed to be the starting left fielder. He struggles out the gate. Like it doesn't. It really.
So, it sounds like left field's a problem for the Yankees.
Yeah.
We've known that for a while now.
The Brett Gardner curse, man. Ever
Yeah,
since the dude
literally,
left,
bro.
Brett Gardner left, and
Hey,
left
you know
field
what?
has
We could
never
use
been
him
the
right
same.
now. We could use
Honestly,
him
Yeah,
right
we
now.
can use Uncle Brett. What are you doing, bro? Yo, call
Yeah,
him
right?
up, see what he's doing in South Carolina. We need him, bro.
Dude, Brett Gardner, like I appreciate Brett Gardner so much more now that he's gone. Like I loved Brett Gardner as a Yankee, but the Yankees have been so bad in left field. They have an 80 WRC plus in left field since 2022. That is 220 games of like horrible offensive production from left field. That's an outfield spot. You expect to get offense from your outfield. I feel like you expect defense first from the catching position, up the middle, and then center field. You don't expect left field is a defense first, offense black hole, but now it is. But hey, maybe they can address that at the deadline. I see some comments about like not Andrew Benintendi, Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
Late.
He'll be interesting. I guess we'll talk about that when we get there as well. Trevor asks, why would the Yankees keep lying about Rizzo's availability? I would be fine if they said he was unavailable unless players got hurt or the bench got burned out. Now, here's my theory on it, and I want to get your guys' take on this. I think Rizzo's availability was lied about just so that Scott Service would have to manage his bullpen with Rizzo on mind. Like, I know that this sounds
point.
Like a
Fair point.
like a fucking what's the word for it? Conspiracy theory, not a hypothetical. But if you're managing a game, if you're Scott Service, if you know Franchi Cordero is the first guy off the bench and not Rizzo, you manage that game a lot differently. If you have
Seawald might not be pitching that situation.
Yeah,
Like-
look, I think that I know it sounds silly, but that's a small thing that goes a long way. Rizzo's really good. Rizzo isn't just like Rizzo isn't just like an okay hitter. Rizzo's
He's playing like an
amazing
all-star
hitter.
this year.
Yeah, I mean, for the last 2 years, where does he rank amongst first basemen like home runs and WRC plus and slugging percentage?
He's
He's
top
up there with
three.
some of the best.
He's up there. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been. I mean, I think up until like this week, he's been like a starter. Even though people don't care about like the All-Star game and stuff like that, like dude, he's been killing it when it comes to first baseman in the AL. So I don't know, but yeah, you keep going, Ryan. About
I was just gonna wrap it. I was gonna wrap up that point with saying like my take is just that look, Rizzo's so good that you have to manage a game around him if you know he's gonna come off the bench. So
It's a fair
that's why I
point.
thought they were lying about it.
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, I obviously don't know what goes on back there, but that very well could have been it. I expect Rizzo to be back in the lineup tomorrow, though. If he's not, then maybe I will get a little concerned. But
I'll freak out
but-
if he's not in the
yeah.
lineup tomorrow.
Yeah,
I mean,
I might be a
gotta
little.
hope.
I might be a little concerned if he's not in the lineup tomorrow. But with that being said, I mean, what you said, Ryan, that might be a fair point. Not only do that, but also give Rizzo that extra rest because you got these guys coming back for this LA series, so they probably wanted a lot of these guys all healthy for that because it's a pretty big series against a good team. So
Yeah, I mean, he hit BP on the field yesterday, so that was interesting. He hit BP on the field, and I forgot, it might have been Hoke. I'm not sure what Yankee beat writer said it, but they're basically like, yeah, I don't count on him playing tonight, but definitely LA. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
seems like they
If he's
wanted
not
all
in the
these guys
lineup-
back in LA. Seems like that's what they
Yeah,
wanted all along. They
exactly
want,
so.
all week long, they were pretty set on let's make sure all of our guys, or at least most of them, because Bader obviously got hurt, but most of our guys are ready for LA because that's a big series.
Yeah.
I wish
Not
they
saying
could
that,
just
not saying that they viewed Seattle as a pushover, but
That
the
third
Dodgers are better.
over.
No, the Dodgers are a
yeah.
better team. Listen, I
Dodgers
wish
are
they
better
had the mentality where they could just step on their throat. Like you won the first two games.
You always wish that.
Dude,
It's
play
just,
Rizzo,
at the
man.
end of
Try
the-
to sweep the series, but
always
I get
wish
it.
that, but at the end of the day, it is a marathon, not a sprint. And I'm not saying you give away games sometimes, but sometimes you want these players to be healthy down the stretch. You don't want these players to get hurt even worse now, and then you don't have them in September when you're pushing for the playoffs or the
Yep.
division or all that stuff. You know what I mean? So
Instead of
I get it. I also get the eager to have them playing because I personally love and the type of guy it's like, oh, play them if they're healthy, play them. But at the same time, I get it because you don't want to get these guys hurt. It's just how it is, especially with how bad our injury luck has been.
oh my gosh,
You know,
yeah, it's been
like,
it's been
Could
terrible.
you imagine if Rizzo's injury, got worse if he played and then he ends up missing like 2 to 3 months? That's a big loss.
I was gonna say instead of a series out, we're talking about a 60-day IL stint, and you're like, dude,
Yeah.
maybe we should have just sat him that Wednesday against Seattle.
That
when we were
Wednesday
up
against
2-0.
George Kirby. Yeah,
Yeah.
when we didn't have half our guys anyway, so
Yeah, that's
like,
tough.
it's one of those days. It's one of
I
those
try to
days.
think about it like this: they know more than us, so maybe they're trying
That's
to.
how it is. Yeah,
like
we're
Ryan
not
said.
in the dugout. We're not in the
Yep.
clubhouse, so we don't
Yep.
know. We're not the trainers. We don't know how serious these injuries are, or what they're actually dealing with, or what we're actually being told is the truth or not. Of course, but we just have to take what we get. We can't do
That's it.
anything about it, so we have to
Definitely.
take what we get.
Yeah, no, and I'm actually looking at this now. When are we gonna have a dialogue about the fact that in about 30 fewer games, actually exactly 30 fewer games played, Rizzo has more home runs, a higher WRC plus, more F WAR than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. since 2022. I wonder when that becomes a conversation to be had. And the better defender right now, at least,
You're
is
poking
Rizzo.
the bear. You're poking the bear.
I'm just
Blue Jays
asking
Twitter, man.
questions. I think one thing that we always that if you learn from school is to always ask questions, and I'm just asking questions. I'm not making
I
statements.
respect it.
But I just want to make it clear that he's been the better hitter, player.
Maybe
home
he's
run
asking the
hitter.
real questions, man. Maybe he's asking.
Yeah,
the real
no, I'm just
questions.
just asking questions. I'm not saying anything. It's not like I'm not like saying he has a higher OBP and slugging percentage and OPS and a better, just been better in walk rates as well and power numbers. We're gonna move on though.
Let's move on.
With that being said, though, why did Matt Cook get called up to be a fan? Look, I'm like, I don't get, like, I don't try, like, because as you said, like, they know more than us. Come on, like, you could have given him a freaking inning, like. The way Brian Hoke spoke about him too, I don't know if you guys saw this. I think it was like before this like spring training. Early on, he was talking about how Matt Crook almost got added onto the postseason roster, at least the taxi squad. Last year.
Yeah,
like,
I did see that.
If you think the guy is good enough, number one, they made a 40-man roster spot for him. That means that they thought he was going to get picked in that Rule 5 draft, which he probably was. And then number two, you thought he was good enough to debut him potentially in the postseason, and you don't think he's worth an inning at the major league level. There are some blowouts. You could have given him one.
We could use another lefty. Me and Ryan have been clamoring for it for a while. We could use another lefty.
Yeah, bro, we could. And they had King throw 2 innings. They had King throw 2 innings. They could have just used them for one and then used King again yesterday. But I mean, like
you
could have had
Crook come in. Yeah. You were up 10-2 on Wednesday. You could have had Crook come in there. You were up 10-4 on Tuesday. You could have had him come in there.
I thought there were lanes. I honestly, I thought even the Padres.
If there was any lane for it, then there was definitely right now.
In the Padres game, there's that third game. I think it was when they were up like 8-2 in the top of the seventh. There were 3 straight lefties up. I thought that was a spot to use Cook. You're up 6 runs. Give your ace a break. Now, I'm not upset that they let Cole in. I know he got rocked in that 7th inning, but it's your ace.
Ace, and you want to win that series too, because
right. If it's your ace and you're up 6 runs and you leave your ace in, considering he pitched a lot better over the course of that game, and it looked he was getting better. I have no problem with that. Obviously,
9 times out of 10 it works.
Yeah, that
one time it didn't. It was that game.
That and the Rays game, which for some reason, if you give Garrett Cole like a 6-run lead,
I guess Garrett Cole doesn't like 6-run leads or Billy Crystal throwing out first pitches. It's one or the other.
Yeah, give Garrett Cole like the tightest knit game ever. Like that game 4 against Cleveland, it is a nail biter. I mean, your backs are against the wall. Garrett Cole pitched the best game of his life. You give him a 6-run lead, and I'm sweating bullets. It's crazy.
He's a crazy dude, man. He'll chug the bananas in the dugout in a 1-run game in the 8th inning of a must-win playoff game, or he'll blow a 6-run lead in a May game against San Diego or Tampa.
Look, I will say this: the bananas thing.
But I love my ace. I love Garrett Cole.
They'll go on like 1 or 2 bites on a snack in between innings. I gotta like coin that because too many pitchers are doing it now. I was on this shit early, dude. Last year in my high school season, scrimmages. It doesn't matter what type of situation it was. Every single inning. I ate a granola bar and drank an entire bottle of water between
Atta
innings.
boy.
I had
Atta
really
boy.
bad issues with cramping, and
You'll
it
never
was
cramp
really
again
bad.
after that.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was out there, bro. I'm telling you, scarf, water bottle, chug out. Like I didn't spend. I spent like a couple seconds talking.
The video of when Cole was pitching and like they're showing someone, they were showing us hitting. It was the Yes broadcast showing us hitting, and it cuts to Garrett Cole in the dugout peeling the banana, cuts back to the at bat, cuts back to Cole, and the whole thing is already in his mouth after one pitch. He inhaled that thing.
He
inhaled it. Bader too eating bananas in the dugout. I think he has everybody on it too.
Bro, but like, I feel like
got
Cole,
everybody onto it.
Maybe I'm remembering this wrong. I feel like he just like destroyed that thing. Like it wasn't like a normal banana.
He didn't even destroy it. He just inhaled it. He didn't even
literally, pretty much. Yeah.
He just inhaled it. Like,
but
he evaporated it. It was gone in a millisecond. Like,
straight up.
I guess everyone's got. I guess to prevent these injury lugs, everyone needs to just adopt the Garrett Cole diet. I guess.
Honestly, I think every pitcher's got a little bit of weird to them. I think every pitcher, like if you're
Wandy Peraza's a crazy dude too.
Yeah,
Wandy Peraza's a psycho. Wandy Peraza pitched like 4 straight days in the postseason. Game 5 rolls around, they're like, oh, and he's like, oh, I'm ready to pitch tomorrow. Like,
do you guys remember that 2021
Your arm is gonna fall off,
Rays, where he's getting pulled and the entire infield just starts beating the shit out of him on the mound?
I love that. That's a great video.
Funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all pitchers are weird, and if your pitcher is not weird, he's probably not very good.
I love our pitchers, man. I don't know what Matt Blake has gotten into these guys, but I love it.
Yeah, no, every pitcher, like this is not even like a Yankees thing. Every pitcher has to be a little bit weird. If you're not a little bit weird, I don't trust you in a big spot. Like you got to be a little psycho, just a little bit.
Yeah.
LA Yankee King goes, why is the Yankees front office full of morons? I don't got like Cashman's number on speed dial. I don't know if you want me to ask him, bro. You guys
he'd probably answer it.
Yeah, no, I feel like if I called Brian Cashman, it would go more like, how did you get this number? Not, oh, hey, how you doing, man? Yeah.
Would it be like the Aaron Rodgers thing? If afterward he'd say tell you to delete the number?
Yeah, the Adam Schefter thing. Was that with Schefter?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Schefter.
Schefter actually. What happened?
Nah, that's what he said. Delete my number. That's
he was like, delete my number.
Lose my number. Lose my number. Yeah.
Schefter actually went to my high school. The high school I graduated from is the same high school that Adam Schefter graduated from. So I gotta like surpass him as the biggest like sports.
We got a future
guy.
Adam Schefter right here.
I don't think I am, but I could try.
Better than Schefter.
Dude, he has. It's crazy because there's like a plaque of like all the notable graduates, and like I was only there for 1 year, so if I amount to anything, I'll have like a plaque there. But like I don't think anyone's gonna remember graduating with me, which is gonna be hilarious. But yeah, John Bloom asked tomorrow's lineup: Torres, second, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, IKF, Volpe, Trevino, Allen. I can rock with that. I know that.
It's probably accurate too. That might end up being the lineup.
That might be like word for word what the lineup is tomorrow. I'm kind of digging Torres at the leadoff spot. Mario, I know that's your guy.
Yeah, he's been raking at the leadoff spot. He's like hitting over 300. Slug is
brought his average up to 270.
Yeah, dude, it's just encouraging. I mean, he sent the table well, which I thought that I'm like, dude, I was hoping from maybe like a week or so of Torres leading off and Volpe would find it again and they would lead Volpe off. But I don't know, Volpe's kind of been doing the same thing that he's been doing for the past couple of months. Like he hasn't been walking much either. I don't know if you guys want to tap into that a little bit. Hasn't been walking, hasn't been stealing much. I don't feel that.
He's been striking out a lot more too.
Striking out a lot more. Not really working the count. I don't think it's like 3 or 4 pitches.
Something I've noticed, and I credit my brother for this because he pointed this out to me, but he said Volpe needs to kind of, shorten his swing up a little bit because it seems like he's, trying a little too hard to pull the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's kind of pulling his head a bit when he swings, looks like he's trying to do more than he needs to do, and as a rookies think that they always think they need to do the most, but
dude,
with time, not only will he mature as a person, but his game will mature, and then therefore, he'll make those adjustments. I expect that. I'm not going to be too hard on Volpe because he's a rookie who, quite frankly, had very little experience of AAA. I think only like 5 AAA games under his belt. So, he was kind of inserted into the big league roster because we were that desperate for a shortstop. So you got to be patient with Volpe. That's a guy you got to be patient with. Yes, he's hitting under 200, and yes, it's easy to be like, this guy is not performing well. Get him out of the lineup right now. He's a rookie. We got to slow down on that. He'll figure it out at some point. This guy was not accidentally a top 5 prospect, so he'll figure it out. It's just one of those things you got to be patient on.
Yeah, so I have a question for you guys actually. So a lot of Yankee fans are like, okay, you got to be patient with Volpe. Us three, I think we're pretty patient with Volpe. We know that there's going to be growing pains, stuff like that. When do we start like getting frustrated? If he stays at like 190 for, I don't know, if he like keeps going like this for the next couple of weeks, do you start getting frustrated? Like, what do? You just like let him keep getting at bats at the major league level? Do you send him down? What would you do
I
if this
feel like
continues?
if this continues for like another like 3 weeks or so, then maybe you can start to get a little concerned and maybe start to wonder if like maybe it's time to at least consider maybe sending him down. I don't want to bring that up because it's like I don't want to send Volpe down, but at the same time, if he's struggling, I don't want to just let the kid rot out there and set him up for failure. If he's clearly not adjusted well enough to major league
Yeah,
pitching, he deserves to develop properly. So like that's what I think. I think you got to be patient. That's why I say a few weeks. I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, if he struggles this weekend in LA, then you got to send him down. No, I'm not going to be
no,
like that. I think you can give it a few more weeks. And if he continues to kind of float around the 190, 180, or even go down, then maybe you can be alarmed. I personally think he'll turn it around at some point, but, that's not a guarantee. So it's a fair question to ask. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, where I stand with Volpe is kind of simple. Just swing less. Number one. Like I actually it was like 2 a.m. and I decided I'm gonna write a Clay Holmes article. And the biggest takeaway I had from that is about like just how often pitchers throw strikes and swings and all that stuff. It is some real nerd shit here, but batters have an overwhelming advantage when they don't swing versus when they do swing. It's crazy. And you would think, oh,
Yeah,
well,
you
why
delved
would you
into this
not
with
want
me.
right? Like
yeah,
it's insane. We're talking like net swings of like all over the course of a full season for the entire league, like 4,000 runs of a net difference. It's insane. Anthony Volpe, for some reason, is swinging more. I think he's just pressing. I think he's trying to do too much. And again, rookies do
Yeah.
that. Just swing. Honestly, his first at bat in the LA series, he took until he got 2 strikes, I would be fine with that. I need him to take more pitches. His
His
strength,
discipline is really good too for a 21-year-old rookie,
yeah,
so he needs to take advantage of that. He's a fast guy, so if he could just get on base by that, that's doing a lot for us.
I need
yeah.
Even if
more
he's
guys
not
to get on for Torres, man. I need more guys to
Tor
get
you
on for
need
Glaber, dude, for the
you need
top
the
of the
guys
order.
to
That's
get
what we
on
need.
for Torres, for Judge, for Rizzo.
Judge,
You need the guys on for those,
man, especially
because if
those
they're
3 guys are
that's
back.
what I'm saying. You need
Yeah,
the guys
we
on
need
for
that.
them, man, because that's how we get our offense going. It's
Yep.
as simple as that. And even if you get on base by drawing walks or something like that, that's a lot for us. You can't expect the rookie to go out and have an MVP season. Only Aaron Judge did that in recent years.
Yep.
So and Aaron Judge is obviously a different breed. He's an insane player, right? So you can't expect Volpe to just replicate that. And he's obviously not right now. So do the little things, focus on that. His discipline's really good. Obviously he's been not so good in that area, the past few weeks, but at the beginning of the season we saw he had pretty good plate discipline for a rookie. Most rookies don't have that kind of discipline, so take advantage of that. He has a good eye, he's got good vision, and he's obviously fast. If you take advantage of that and get on base, not only are you going to steal more bases and distract pitchers, but like we've been saying, you're going to get the guys on base for the big hitters, for like the Rizzos, the Judges, and the Torreses and Stantons, those type of guys to drive in runs.
Also, it's really
I
hard to
need
throw
that.
strikes. People forget that. Like it's like it is. Ask any major league pitcher like how hard it is to throw a sweeper down the zone away without it either A being way out of the zone or B not hanging. Like it's tough to do that.
Just ask Clay Holmes how hard it is to
Ask
throw
anyone.
strikes.
Like, dude, when I pitched, do you know how hard it was to just throw strikes? Not let's throw away locating in the zone. Do you know how hard it is to just throw strikes consistently? I know we're talking like, not at the professional level, but let's even get to the professional level, major league level. It's really hard to throw strikes. Take advantage of that. You're not swinging the bat very well. Take more pitches, be more selective, at least see a lot of pitches. You can
That's
have a
it.
good
Work
at
the
bat.
count. At
Exactly.
minimum,
Work
work
the
the
count.
count. At minimum.
And that's what
Work the
Volpe was doing
count,
well
see
when he
pitches,
first came
see
up.
which ones you like,
Yeah.
see which ones you don't like. When you're a rookie, you have to figure out what major league pitches you want to go for and which ones you don't want to go for. If you take more pitches, you will figure that out faster. If you swing
Yeah.
it more, you're gonna not figure that out pretty quickly. It's gonna
Dude.
take you a very long time.
Yeah, and 4 at bats, he would have 4 at bats a game. He would walk once, right? I won't lie to you. I would say 1 at bat, he was pretty overmatched. And then the other 2 at bats, they were pretty good. He would either get a base hit or a hard hit ball, like it was something along those lines. I feel like he's just getting away from that. And he has like 2 or 3 at bats where he doesn't look like he belongs. And then he'll get like, I don't know, a hard hit ball or a ground ball or something like that. So I want him to go back to having competitive at bats. We've touched on that already, but that's what I want.
Have simple as that. Have competitive at bats. Wait for your pitch. That's what they always teach you. Rookies are gonna go through those growing pains, so they're gonna always want to try to do more. It happens. He'll figure it out at some point. His game will mature. You can't expect it to just instantly be amazing off rip. It's a rookie. It's gonna be rough for him. It's not gonna be all sunshine and flowers, but I anticipate a turnaround at some point. I just hope it happens soon because I don't want the Yankees to end up making a difficult decision with him. I want them to be able to just stick with him at short.
And the fan base is getting louder and louder.
Yeah.
Especially with yesterday with 1 out. You need him to elevate the ball there. He doesn't elevate the ball. Hits a little
chopped
chopper.
it to third. Yeah.
So
and especially with Peraza playing well. Peraza playing well puts a lot of pressure. It puts a lot. Well,
it's putting pressure on him without a doubt.
Look, I'm gonna even when Volpe, and I believe it's a when, not if. I think Volpe will turn things around. But even when that happens, I still want Peraza at shortstop. I think Volpe and Peraza up the middle. If you have Volpe at second base and Peraza at shortstop, or maybe move Volpe to third base, I realize Torres is a second baseman, so that doesn't necessarily work out there. But Peraza, look, if the Yankees touted this guy as this elite defensive shortstop, why are we talking about moving him off of shortstop? That, to me, that doesn't make much sense. Maybe you guys feel
it's a fair point. We've talked about Peraza.
Right.
I've said it's tough for them to find a consistent spot for him because of the infield logjam we have. So
yeah, it's like if we acquired Bader and they were like, oh, okay, we're gonna put him in left field. Like, you acquired this guy has an elite glove. That's a lot of his value is his glove. Can we I'm just
you're not limiting but when you get Bader, you're not limiting that to one side of the field, man. You gotta put it right in center field so he can range it everywhere. And that it's been working out that way. Of course, he's hurt from time to time, but when he's out there, it's been working. So
yeah, look, it doesn't Judge is a good defensive center fielder by all accounts, and Judge
not just a good one. He's a great defensive center fielder.
And let's be real,
not
here.
Bader,
Aaron Judge.
Well, yeah, you get the point. Aaron Judge is a great defensive center fielder. Like, there's probably not that many center fielders I would take over Judge defensively.
Yep.
That's how
Bader's
good he is
defensively.
Level.
That's
of
course.
That's we all know that. That's common knowledge. We all know Bader is on a different planet. Probably easily the best defensive center fielder in baseball.
No, it's
I don't think that's really up for debate. But then you have the next tier, and that includes Judge. I think so, at least.
Look, the way I view it is it's not that Volpe's a bad defensive shortstop. It's that if this guy is that good at that position, because that's the way he's been described to us. Maybe I've misinterpreted it, but before he started hitting at the rate he's hitting at right now, the whole thing was this dude's slick at shortstop. He's a Gold Glove guy over there. A Gold Glove defensive shortstop should be playing shortstop. I don't know. Do you guys know any Gold Glove shortstops who don't play shortstop anymore? Correa was going to move off of shortstop to play with Lindor. Think about that.
That's crazy.
And no disrespect to Lindor, but at that point in time, I think Correa was the more.
Oh yeah.
He's just when healthy. I think
Correa always when healthy is easily a better defensive shortstop.
I mean,
I will take him any day of the week at shortstop.
There's
the reason Correa is so valuable, even when he's not hitting at amazing levels, is because he's that good with the glove.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we were talking about, hey, could the Yankees sign a shortstop? It was all on the interpretation that they were going to move off of the position. If you're going to move guys off of, if you were talking about moving guys like Turner or Correa, or Story off the position to get one of these shortstops in, you mean to tell me you can't put Peraza in because Volpe won the shortstop? Do you think Volpe's the type of guy to walk into Aaron Boone's, his office and go, "What, you want me to play third base? No, I want out. I'm not going to play shortstop anymore." Hell no, that's not Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe is not that type of guy. You know what I mean? No. So, it's just
he's a winner. Guy wants to win.
Exactly.
Guy wants to win.
And
he's willing to learn. He's willing to learn the game. He knows he's still 22 years old, guys. He just turned 22.
Yeah. And I want to clarify too. We're not trying to drag on Volpe. It's a reasonable conversation to have. It's not like the guy's been performing excellent, so we have to be honest about it. But we do want the kid to succeed. We love our players. We love our team. We're never going to root for our guys to fail just so that another guy can come up and replace him. No, never. We just want to see him succeed, and we hope it happens soon.
And we know it's a part of the process too, especially at that age. It's a part of the process. We have to talk about it because you have a guy, like Ryan said, top shortstop, defensive shortstop. He would come up to the major leagues and really help us with the glove as shortstop. It's a conversation that you have to have. Not saying you take Volpe out of short, but you got a guy in the minor league.
For rookies too, having high expectations as Volpe did coming into the season can put pressure on them. So you can expect that pressure to kind of I don't want to say overwhelm them, but it takes a bit of them. You can tell it's putting some impact on them. So let's just hope that Volpe, settles in soon. He relaxes a bit and just gets things going. I'm glad that they're being patient with him at least. I'm happy they didn't just say, "All right, Volpe's struggling. We're sending him down right now." No, I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they're trying to let him figure out the process a little bit and get used to this and see what's working and what's not. I'm glad they're doing that. But at some point, results need to come. At some point, it
Yep.
has to happen. That's
Yep.
that's the way the sport is. You can't keep just
Results
hoping
based.
exactly. You can't just hope it comes and then it doesn't come. You gotta you gotta let it play out though. So there's just a way with it. You gotta be patient. That's the big thing. Gotta be patient.
Yeah, and kind of looking through a little bit the comment section here, there's a lot of look, and I know that again, I'm not sitting here and saying you have to believe in Josh Donaldson, but there's a lot of like writing him off already. Like,
And I love it. I love
there's
it.
Josh Donaldson isn't going to do jack shit. I mean, I was going to say bleep, but I've already cursed, so like it's I'm not going to.
You've already broke your barrier
Yeah.
at this point.
And I think Michael makes a good point here. That's a lie. Everyone wants JD to fail. Yeah, I don't think
that's a fact.
look,
That's a
I
fact,
have
bro.
I have no problem with having an opinion on a player, like saying like, all right, I don't like for my example here, like I don't think Josh Donaldson's that good of a hitter, so I'm not too high on him. But if you think I'm going to sit here and tell you that I want what's worse for the Yankees just so I can be validated on that one small point, I think it's crazy.
At the end of the day, I'm always going to hold out hope that they can turn it around.
Yeah,
whether they're struggling or not.
And Mario, I think you can speak to this too. There is a large portion of this fan base sometimes that they just like, it's almost like they are happy when the team isn't doing well or they have something to complain about. Like,
100, dude.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about that real quick, dude. Like, you guys call yourself Yankee fans, right? And listen, I'm not calling anybody out for being a bad fan or whatever. There's different kinds of fans. Sometimes they just are pessimistic. The Yankees are playing bad. Like, dude, you guys saying the Yankees are having a great year, bro. We're in third place. Look at Baltimore's payroll. Look at Tampa Bay's payroll. Look at their payroll compared to us. We should be in first place right now. Brian Cashman stinks. And I know you guys want to continue to say that, continue to beat the dead horse. Brian Cashman saying it. It's unfortunate. Like for some of us, I think what is he, like a B- general manager? We know that he's not the best, but the Yankees, and I know people hate hearing this, but the Yankees are always in the playoffs. And I know how much that angers the fan base because they're like, dude, I don't care about being in the playoffs. I want to guarantee we're going to make it to the World Series and we're going to win the World Series and we're going to sweep whoever it is in 4 games. I know that's what people want. They want to go 162-0 and just, cruise through the playoffs, not lose a game, beat Houston, slay the Dragon, and then beat whoever it is in the NL. But you guys got to understand, like, you guys just can't root for your points to be right. Like, I know JD, he's older, right? Most likely, what I think, he's going to have 3 weeks with the Yankees. He's going to have 3 weeks to prove what he can do, and they might just give him the Hicks stream. They're like, maybe they already decided on, listen, unless he's, like, doing really well, we're just going to ship him off. JD, take your money, go somewhere else, right? They might just do that. But, dude, while he's a Yankee, root for the guy.
Yeah,
like
simple as that.
Some fans just make it so
I'll always
personal
root
with
for
these
them.
guys. Yeah,
I'll always root for them. I never understood the notion of rooting against them. It made no sense to me. You just want them to strike out 4 times so you can be right.
Dude.
Like what?
Like they're playing like tomorrow. I know people are gonna get mad. Like I'm telling you, people are on Twitter. They already got it in their drafts. They're waiting for JD to strike out that first at bat so they can say, "Bro, I told you, stop ruining."
0 for 4.
Yeah, they're just ruining for like, dude, I told you, another Brian Cashman mistake, and they just keep beating the dead horse. Same thing with Hicks. I know Hicks was here for a little bit longer than Donaldson, way longer than Donaldson. But listen, as long as he's a Yankee, try and root for the guy. All right.
I mean, when Hicks got 3 hits 2 days before you got DFA'd, I was cheering him on. I was happy about it. I wasn't like, oh my God, why is Hicks playing good? I want him gone. No, I wasn't like that. I was just like, nice. Hicks got 3 hits and a big hit against Toronto. Yeah. Then 2 days later got DFA'd. But that just happened.
That's baseball. And listen, it's based on results. And I know frustration, especially, some fans don't think before they tweet. They just tweet whatever's on their mind. Like, dude, this guy sucks. He reeks, whatever. But I don't know. I just can't make it so personal with these players because at the end of the day, listen, Waldo didn't say it like that, but he's like, we pay to watch them play. That's how it is. You guys go to Yankee Stadium and watch them play. So I might as well root them on. And I know frustration happens. You guys want to boo. You guys pay money. It's your money, so you do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, just try to cheer these guys on, man. They're Yankees, and that's how I see it. So
that's perfectly said, honestly. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. That's right on the head there. Like, look, end of the day, we're not saying that if you go to Yankee Stadium and boo, you're like the worst person ever.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
If your mentality is every single time something bad happens to the Yankees, like, yeah, I was right. I knew not to believe in this team. It's
You're
like
cheering them on. Like, let's
dude,
go. Aaron
like,
Hicks
are you
went
a
0 for
fan?
4 strikeouts. I was right. Like, no.
Look, I this is gonna sound harsh, but like some people think they're like Frank Fleming with it. You're not Frank Fleming. Like not every person who's self-deprecating is Frank Fleming. And here's another thing, right? You're also probably not gonna get a job with Barstool, yelling at the Yankees, like Frank Fleming did with the Mets. Like that's not gonna happen. Look, I hate to crush people.
Frank is one of a kind. Frank is one of a kind.
I hate to crush people's dreams, but you're not like your guys are just not Frank Fleming. Like that guy's just different. So
it's
look,
different. Yeah,
I get it. Again, like I get frustrated. Like, dude, one of the first things that got me like any sort of notoriety was yelling about Brooks Kriske to my phone.
Oh, you told me this.
Now, am I proud about that? No. Does it happen? Yes. Does it mean that every time Brooks Kriske stepped to the mound,
I think it's funny enough.
No.
That I think it's funny enough to mention that Ryan told me that famous Brooks Kriske video wasn't even the Boston game.
No, it wasn't the Boston game, and it wasn't the Jared Walsh game. That was the game before. It was the first game of that series because I think we won the second one and then we lost to Jared Walsh.
I don't remember entirely what happened because it was 2 years ago. But
I
just thought it was funny when you told me it was not the Red Sox game.
Are you guys talking about the Jared Walsh game at the stadium?
No, this was that series, but I was not even. It wasn't that game that I got that mad at, man. Insane. Dude, you were at that game, right?
Yeah, dude, that's the only Yankee game I've ever left early. Dude, it was 1 a.m. at work.
You told me that
day.
story.
Yeah, it's bizarre, bro. My dad's like, dude, we're leaving this game. He's like,
are you
gonna Uber home? And that was the game we smacked Ohtani. I mean, that was a dark time. That was 2021, where the Yankees were 500. Nobody knew what Garrett Cole was. Man. Nestor was the ace. He like shoved on Sunday Night Baseball against the Mets, the doubleheader. So it was crazy.
That doubleheader was like what changed the season. They fell to 500 against the Mets.
Then Alonso hit the homer off Chapman early that day. Yeah,
Chapman was a disaster. That like
on July 4th too.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
That was like the worst 1 week stretch of my life, dude. That was terrible. And then the Yankees make like they take those first two against Houston at Houston. I've told Dylan this story.
Oh my god,
this is the darkest. Tough. This is the darkest like I think I've ever gone because of the Yankees, dude. The Altuve game. Altuve hits the ball, green. Dude. I was getting dumped as Altuve hit the ball.
Dude, that's tough.
I had the conversation on one hand, and I'm just like, tough. I'm on FaceTime getting dumped. I'm looking at my laptop screen. I'm just like, oh my god, no. And then she's like, what happened? Like, I'm just upset about this. Of course, I'm like. I'm trying to make it seem like I'm not watching. Dude. I remember, I was fucking in shambles. The Yankees put me in such a dark spot that year. The 2021 team, for all of their downs, also had some of the best games I think I've watched.
Oh my god, dude, definitely.
Like that team had you could not sit down and just enjoy a Yankee game.
You know what though? Was it as funny as the 2013 team though? That was just a funny team.
The 2013 team was like, but that team didn't. That was just not that they didn't have expectations, but I felt like that 2021 team was just like it was never easy. Like, do you guys remember that Braves game where Wandy Peralta becomes a legend? Like he the Freddie Freeman one.
The Freddie Freeman where he flew out to the track and people
where I literally felt my heart beating out of my shirt.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my god, don't tell me we're gonna lose. Like
even that like
weren't we in a big winning streak at the time too of that Freeman game?
Yeah,
we were in the middle of a big winning streak.
The Andrew
that was like to keep it alive.
Oh my god!
The Yankees swept Boston. It was a doubleheader. Like that was insane.
But that second game, even because Heaney pitched really well that game, in one of that games in that series.
Yep.
And then Chapman comes in and Licky's facing the tying run with 2 outs.
I don't remember all these, man. That's how you know we're true fans.
That team,
we're true fans. Like, remember all this.
This team is weird because last year's team got off to the best start in like franchise history or something like that. The team before that was like really bad to start the year, and this team is just good to start the year. Like, not saying they're like disappointing or anything, but they're like pretty good to start the year. You can't.
They're good. They're good, but they're not like insanely good, but
Right.
they're good. They're good.
It's weird because even 2020, they got off to a really good start and they just fell off once they started playing
Free
Tampa.
fall. That was a free fall.
Yeah.
That was a free fall.
2019,
that was bad.
That was just they were overperforming with all their hurt guys that were coming in. You know, like Talkman came in and he was a stud. That obviously was going to keep himself up, and then he got
2018
hurt.
was just
the
decent
Boston
year.
Red Sox.
I'll be
Boston
real
Red
with you
Sox.
guys. That's one year where I know Yankee fans don't like the Red. Of course, we hate the Red Sox, but dude, they had 2
They were
MVPs.
unstoppable.
JD,
They were
JD and
unstoppable that year.
Mookie. That year I just tipped my cap. I'm like, dude, their team was
Yeah,
better.
you kind of knew like in May that season was going to Boston.
I knew this. I knew it was kind of over once JD Martinez hit that 3-run home run off of J.A. Happ. I was like,
they were that good that year, man. And
I
then
also
2017 was the fever dream. 2017 was the fever dream.
I feel like 2017. I feel like 2017. I know this sounds like a terrible take because I think the talent on the roster would say otherwise. That 2017 team was their best team. Like not just because of the playoff run, but like just all
they had some heart, man. They had some heart, man.
That bullpen was unbelievable. That's the best bullpen I think.
That team had some heart. That 2017 team had some heart.
Wasn't after everything that happened in Game 2 against Cleveland, they come back and they win, dude. They win that series off Corey Kluber. When Corey Kluber, don't think about the washed up Corey Kluber this year. Think about the
still an ace.
He was the best pitcher in baseball.
With Trevor Bauer. The Yankees hit Trevor Bauer. I know he's in whatever Japan right now doing whatever.
The minor leagues.
Yeah, but listen, that staff they had was elite, and the Yankees found a way to come back. They climb back. They win Game 3 and Game 4. Almost lose Game 3. Judge Rob's Lindor, and Carrasco was nasty for them. Greg Bird, and then in Game 5,
and took a cheating Astros to 7.
Dude,
team that was cheating. And we took it 7.
The Evan Gattis tweet. I know that this was like circling around a couple months ago, but like the one where I knew what pitch was coming against. That hurt so bad. Like, look, I get you could have assumed he did, but hearing him say it, I feel like made it because he just said it so nonchalant, and you know nothing's gonna come out.
I mean, like
it's already out.
There's
so
nothing
at that
do.
point,
no, there is nothing.
But
I think that's what makes it worse. Like it's like. It's you're sitting there
like you know it's true, but now you're hearing the players just be like, "Yeah, it's true."
He's saying it as a joke, like he's like drunk. He's like, "Yeah, I think it was like a cutter inside, just hit it over." Like,
coming. I'm like,
that hurts. That hurts so much for us, especially man. Like we're dying to see a World Series, dude. We covered the Yankees throughout the year. We're diehards. We're in every game, and just him like joking around about that, it hurts, bro. But hopefully this is the year, bro.
I honestly feel like this team is. Weirdly enough, like at least in the rotation, if they can get their guys back, like this is by far their best rotation of any. Like that 2017 team had like guys who pitched
probably
well
in the 21st century. Probably,
but like dude, look, the way I view the Rodon signing was that's a move for October. Not that you don't want him healthy in the regular season, but you know what you've won the division before.
You wanted to add another ace for October.
Yeah, you've been to the ALCS before. You've been to the LDS before. It's not that the Yankees can't get to the postseason. It's that the Yankees, when they get there, they just run into some buzzsaws. People forget, like, that rotation had to start Jameson Town in Game 1 of the ALCS. Carlos Rodon, if you had him instead of in that rotation last year, look, I'm not saying you win that series, but goddamn, you feel pretty damn good about your chances, right? That game
and then Sevy to follow and Cortez if he's actually on.
People forget, like, how many games of that series was decided by, like, 1 or 2 runs? I think all but that third game of the series was just every single game came down to the wire, and the Yankees just didn't come on top in that series. And I'm not saying not to make excuses or anything like that. I mean, that's the team that they were. You can't say, oh well, if they had Carlos Rodon, well, the dude wasn't free agent.
We've been saying that for years already. Like, what if? That's the team that we have, and we've got swept.
But like
what we were stuck with.
I feel like the rotation's in a spot where like, and Severino's velocity coming back is good. I kind of want to touch up on this because he's pitching tomorrow. Dude. Just like, look, there were a couple spots, like he hung a slider to Tatis. That's obviously not something you want, but I feel like the command is something that always comes, I feel, later, like feel, just having the finesse for your pitches that comes later on in the season when you're fully all the way back. But the velocity, like, do you guys think we could see not Severino from 2017, 2018, but like just like a better version of last year? Like, I think that's
I feel like we're at that point. I mean, like his velocity is encouraging. Seeing him touch 100 pretty relatively consistently is encouraging. And, like you said, the command, of course, isn't, oh my God, amazing. But for what it's worth, he hasn't been the worst in that area either in his first 2 starts back. I thought he was really sharp his last start. Like I don't remember exactly who they played against, but I just remember he was
the Padres.
Padres. Padres and Reds.
That's right. Padres and Reds. Of course, it's the Reds, so you would hope he gets a good start against the Reds. But against Padres, he was lights out. That's amazing.
That's how it is in the playoffs. I
The,
mean, he
the
made one
earned run he
mistake.
gave up against Cincinnati was a fraudulent earned run anyway. So
Bullshit.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so
Jake Bauer. So I
so
mean, I was right there. That was tough, but
so
yeah,
like
man.
I mean, for what it's worth, he's been great. So I'm just hoping it continues. Of course he's gonna have his moments. I expect him to have that one bad start. It's gonna happen. Happens to every pitcher. But for what it's worth, I mean, he's been great, and I hope it just continues. I just hope he continues to do his thing.
No,
That's really
definitely.
all
I
I
mean,
got.
listen, he gave up one mistake to Tatis, and I know a lot of people were like, dude, how about you don't throw Tatis a cookie, middle. I mean, in October, that's how it happens. That one mistake, it might cost you the series. But dude, he gave
Can't
up one
expect him to
run.
be 100% perfect
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time.
I mean, what, he's still on a pitch count? What is his pitch count going to be, like 95 pitches maybe this time around in LA?
Maybe
But
more like 90.
honestly, I think he's not really worried about like racking up the strikeout at this point in his career. He knows that this is his year. Like he doesn't know what's going to happen after the season. We don't know.
Nope.
At this
We don't
point,
know. Yep.
I kind of got some hope that, because that's the homegrown ace. I love Garrett Cole, but that was my guy before Garrett Cole was a Yankee. Luis Severino was the guy. I'm sure you were the same way, Ryan, when he was taking the ball in October. That was like, dude, that's our guy, Dominican. Like,
Yeah,
you want that
work
guy
with
to go out and
Pedro.
succeed.
Like, come on.
Yeah,
This is
dude,
my
like,
goat right there.
Yeah,
Look,
you want him to do his thing. So
yeah, no, Luis Severino, 2017 to 2018. I would go to war for Luis Severino. Like, not just like I wouldn't just say like, oh, he's my, I go to war for that guy. At practice, I hear someone say this guy's better than Luis Severino. I was ready to box, bro. I don't care. I would scrap with any teammate of mine at practice if they said Luis Severino wasn't that good, bro. But yeah, that's my thought. Look, you get Luis Severino, just a better version of last year's, and the velocity's up, all that stuff, dude.
I think he's like more mature. I think he's like more mature. Is it like fair to say like he knows like he's like a pitcher, bro? He uses all three of his pitches very well. Like, listen, I'm gonna get my strikeouts. I'm not worried about my strikeouts, especially with the pitch count now. He's like, dude, I want to go as deep in the game as possible. If I can give the Yankees 6, I'm happy. I want to go 7 though. I got 95 pitches tomorrow. Okay, listen, Freeman's been doing his thing. Betts has been on fire. Let me get through the first 3 and then work my way around. The bottom of the order, keep doing my thing. Try to get quick outs. I think that's what he's trying to do tomorrow, but should be interesting against that Dodger lineup.
No, yeah. And it's a tough Dodger lineup. It's not no slouch. So
no, definitely not.
Yeah. In his looking back to last year, this is 21 starts. Now he has a 3.02 ERA. Like, we can sit here and say small sample size, whatever, but that if you look at adjusted ERA, that factors in for ballpark and stuff like that. In 2018, his ERA was 3.39. That was 21% better than league average. His ERA over the last 2 seasons is 22% better than league average. Not saying that means he's 2018 Severino, but if the run prevention
looks to it.
Look again, I'm saying 2017 there's no shot, but 2017 had 2.98 ERA. So we're not too far off from that right now. I think obviously maybe the stuff isn't as good. He could hit 100 routinely back then, but man, against San Diego, it felt like he was really lighting up the radar gun. His fastball, I feel like sometimes in that start, he was kind of getting away from that fastball a little bit too much. Your accounts were like, dude, just go, let it rip.
Bro, you got 100, bro. You got 100. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let it rip.
Can't be scared, bro.
Right.
These guys, especially with these guys.
It's crazy.
You gotta show Freeman and best respect, but you got 100.
Yeah, no, definitely. Those two.
It's crazy. The guy was a Cy Young level pitcher at one point. He was a Cy Young finalist, I'm pretty sure. In what was it, 17 or 18? One of those 2 seasons, he was
both,
a Cy Young finalist. Maybe even both. I don't fully remember because it was several years ago, but that's how good he was at one point. And if we can get something close to that right now, then we have a nasty 1-2-3 in that rotation, man. When fully healthy, of course. We have a nasty 1-2-3. And then Nestor at the 4, if he figures it out, I mean,
listen,
that's a scary rotation. No other team is going to want to deal with.
Montas too a little bit. I know a lot of Yankee fans are like
Montas, if he comes back to form, then
even if it's as a reliever, like it's something.
Yeah, even if it's as a long reliever,
like how Severino came back a couple years ago,
pitches better than he did last year. Then that's a scary pitching rotation, pitching staff that no other team is going to want to deal with. Like, that's how good it is. It just matters about health and confidence and just them doing their thing, them not falling off a bit, not falling.
We know
apart.
what we're gonna get out of the 3: Rodon, Cole, and I think Severino. Like, dude, I'm like real confident right now. I know Cole's been a little bit shaky the last couple starts, but dude, I really enjoy watching Luis Severino pitch, man. And
so do
I know Nestor with the pitch clock, dude. But in October, we just need you to give us 5 innings, bro. 5 innings. We're gonna have Loizaga
get
back.
Get us through 5 or 6, and then You go to the bullpen
Hand
from
it
there,
down to
let
the
them take
bullpen,
it
yeah.
over.
You know, I
King,
wouldn't.
so
I wouldn't be stunned if like they tried something with Montas where they opened him and had him go to Nestor and had, kind of a righty lefty thing where
okay.
It's a
you
good
kind of
point.
you force another team to either A, have to bring in a lot of lefties, or B, they're trying to stack righties because they know they're going to face Cortez, and you're
Yeah.
basically giving Montas a free 1 to 2 innings. I think the Yankees are going to look, I know that this is something that people don't love, but I think the Yankees are going to have to get creative in October, not because they don't have the pitching to do it, but because they have so much talent on that roster pitching wise. You can kind of get a little silly, right? You can try a couple things.
Cuts are going to be tough. Cuts are
Yeah,
going to be tough in October, yeah.
Dude, we're talking about, hey, can Clark Schmidt transfer the bullpen? Is he going to make the postseason roster? I know that's a far way. It doesn't, like, he could pitch his tail off in the bullpen. Is he making the bullpen roster?
There's no guarantee,
Jimmy Cordero, man. Is there a lane for Jimmy Cordero, even if you don't add anyone? Is there a lane for Jimmy Cordero to make a fully healthy Yankee bullpen roster? You got
There's no guarantee.
Spots?
That's obviously stuff that we'll be able to explore more when we get closer to the playoffs. But as of right now, there is no guarantee.
For sure. Look, and we're talking about like if Montas, if this, like if when we're talking about ifs, things.
Your favorite word. Your favorite word.
If is one of those words where it was
your favorite word.
For me.
Your favorite word.
Just to give you a little bit of.
Make sure everyone in the comments presents if scenarios, because Ryan loves if scenarios.
Just to present a little background, Mario. Someone after this live was like, if Aaron Judge didn't hit that home run against Felix Bautista, we'd gotten swept by the Orioles. And I don't know why that pissed me off so much, but it did. And I'm like, dude.
I feel you, dude. Like, it's just like there's so many ifs in baseball. What if this, what if that? Like, you can't go back. You can't go back and be like, dude, I wish you would have swept the Seattle Mariners. What if Volpe comes through, hits a sac fly? It's a different game. Raleigh gets a different pitch in that scenario. You can't just go back. It is what it is. And, like, I know we all want to go back and fix certain things in the past couple of years. What if we would have won the World Series? We didn't, and we got to live with it. And this is a new year now, a new team, and I'm excited, dude. We got the horses, when it comes to starting pitching. Got to get healthy offensively, make sure Beta's all right for October. But I like our chances, man, and the deadline. Hopefully Cash could come through and get the best guys available, like the best guys we need. Don't go for the B option. I wanted to mention that too. Like, somebody tweeted this at me, and honestly, I took it into account. Like, I wanted Castillo badly, but you knew Montas was like damaged goods. They should have never went after him. You knew he was damaged goods. Figure it out.
You knew it was a higher risk going after after Montas.
You knew he was a higher risk. So just figure it out. Like, within, like, I don't know, the minor leagues. The next guy up in the minor leagues, bring him up, let him pitch instead of getting Montas, because you knew, like, he was pretty much damaged goods. Try to go out there and get the best left fielder possible. You know what I'm saying, Ryan? That's something that I would like the Yankees to do. Don't get option B or C. If you think, this is Aaron Judge's prime. You gotta
take advantage of that, man.
Listen,
I've been saying that. Been saying that.
Some fan told me at the stadium, he's like, "You want Aaron Judge to end up like Donnie Baseball?" I no disrespect to Donnie Baseball, but dude, I need Aaron Judge. I'm hoping. When we got Stan, I'm like, yo,
we need him to get a ring, man.
It would be
start at 1, but
I think it would be a colossal failure on the end of Brian Cashman to not get a World Series with Aaron Judge in the state. Aaron Judge is not just good. Like, Aaron Judge is the best hitter on planet Earth. Like, the best hitter on planet Earth on a team that has a lot of financial resources, has a farm that is going to
one of the most storied franchises in sports, not just baseball.
And a lot of these farm pieces that we're talking about, Jason Dominguez hit a 3-run home run today, Double-A. Like, we're not too far away from seeing him. Spencer Jones is a college guy, so he might be in Double-A soon. Austin Wells should be. Him not being in Triple-A is silly to me, but
he might be in the big leagues next year.
Yeah, he should. In my opinion, he's a left-handed bat. Look, I get it. Oh, he can't catch. First off, I don't buy into that fully. 2, who would you rather learn from? Learn in Double-A or Triple-A how to catch, or learn from Jose Trevino and Kyle Higashioka,
guy who won a platinum glove.
How to handle a major? Jose Trevino's the guy that Garrett Cole is basically hand picking to pitch every game. Garrett Cole's a very particular guy, right? Yeah. You don't want. Could you imagine just what Austin Wells could learn, not just from catching, from just being around Jose Trevino and seeing the pregame preparation? You're gonna have to.
Goes a long way in sports.
Yep, exactly. And look, and Wells is a left-handed bat, big bat, but as you mentioned, I want the A option at the deadline too. Look, let's just put it like this, right?
You got to go all in, man. You cannot waste time. Go all in.
Yeah, if the reports were true that they wanted Volpe and Dominguez, I understand why they didn't get him. But you're right. Luis Castillo was Garrett Cole and Luis Castillo, that ace duo. You're like, what? Like, how do teams stop this type duo? The Yankees need to bear down and say, hey, we got to be unstoppable. I feel like sometimes they get
have-
close to like, hey, we
You
can
have
we
the
can make
best
the FU
options in your
move.
prime right now. Garrett Cole was your ace at his prime. Aaron Judge is MVP level
Yeah.
player at his
Stan's
prime.
under contract, and you don't know how much longer you're gonna have him in his prime for.
Stanton's still being productive, but you don't know how much longer that'll last. You know, you have these guys that are being productive. Take advantage of that. This is your best chance, quite frankly, right now. You know, baseball's been weird this year. There is not really like that one team that's like, yeah, nobody's beating that
I
team.
say the
That's
same
like
thing.
there is
Every
not that
team
one
has
team
cracks.
like
That's how I see
last
it.
year. Like last year, I feel like we all kind of knew that the Astros were better than us. I feel like we kind of knew that. I feel like just something in there. There was that feeling that Houston was just better than us, and they were going to edge us in the playoffs when we met. I think everyone kind of felt that. Right now, though, it doesn't feel like there's that one team that's like, yeah, nobody's beating them. I don't see that right now. Yeah, the Rays are doing good right now, but I feel like they're not unbeatable. I feel like you can beat them. You know,
They've
I feel
had
like these
stretches
guys
where it's like you see, like, okay, I was looking at their bullpen against the Cubs, like, okay, the Yankees can go after that. And listen, I'm not rooting for injuries, of course, for any team, but injuries are gonna happen to every team. Every team every year goes through injuries. I know it feels like, dude, we're the only team that gets injured in the AL East. Trust me, every team in the AL East will go through.
Orioles just lost Cedric Mullins, and they're in second place.
I was watching the game, and guy was running down the line. And it happens. What was his groin or something or hamstring?
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. And other guys throughout organizations are gonna have to step up. That's how you look at
How
depth.
sports are.
Yep,
Injuries happen. It's part of the
100%.
game, whether you like it or not. It's part of the game. I feel like we should get through some more comments, Ryan, because we've only gotten through a few of them. So I feel like we should get through some more.
I'm gonna start kind of flying through some like big ones that stand out here. Let's see. What do you, if you guys see any ones you want to talk about?
Yeah,
I'm just trying to.
We've been kind of sorry that we
Yeah.
haven't gotten as many comments. We've been, talking a lot, and we have our guest Mario on here, so we want to make sure we maximize that. So, but we'll get to your comments.
There was
We're
all the
doing that right
JD
now.
stuff. We kind of covered that. Let's see. Trevor asked, when is Frank Fleming joining the live stream? Probably never. I don't think he'll ever want to hop on. Maybe he will. We'll see.
If that ever happens, I'll be willing to take a step back and just sit backstage while Ryan and Frank Fleming go at it.
I think
that'll be peak cinema. That'll be peak cinema.
Oh, okay. I think this is a decent. I think this is a funny. This is kind of funny. That was a good question. There, Ryan's got to be related to Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez has different color eyes. He's significantly taller than me.
It's the haircut, dude.
Okay, let me just put this out there. I was saying this when Clark Schmidt got pulled because he gave up a hit to J-Rod on an 0-2 count. I can understand being distracted by J-Rod. J-Rod's just like, he's got the aura, man. He's a star. That dude is so.
It's the haircut, I'm telling you.
But also,
just go to the barbershop, show him a picture of Julio Rodriguez.
I mean, dude, he's he's electric on the field too. Like he's catching that ball, he's looking at the fans. Like,
he caught that ball against
IKF. I love J-Rod.
Simple line drive from Lindor, one hopper. He can't stop that. That's an inside the park home run. IKF is a ball a million miles an hour to left center field, and he catches that. All I'm saying is,
I was saying at the TV yesterday, I'm like, dude, you couldn't do that in WBC,
bro. I'm seeing Devers hit like this home run, that. I'm like, dude, where you went like 1 for 16 in the tournament? What the hell's going on here?
I know, dude, insane.
What? Or when? So help me God. So help me God. If Francisco Mejia hits a big home run again, or Gary Sanchez, he hit 2 home runs with the Padres. You couldn't hit one with us? Just one? You couldn't do one? They even talk about the Yankees couldn't do one with the Dominican team. Not one. Sandy Alcantara's pitching terrible this year, so it's kind of like, all right,
Santander broke him, I guess.
Santander, I can't do it, bro. He kills us.
He's Glaber's buddy. He's Glaber's buddy too. It's like Glaber's always. I'm like, Glaber, stop talking to him, bro. But
honestly, recruit him. I never want to have to pitch down. Okay, Anthony Santander is one of those dudes where if you could, I would acquire him just well, he's good, 1, but 2, I'd never want to pitch against him again. But a good question I saw, or not a good question, but something that LA King asked was, the bleep is Montas gonna do? I think a lot of, and I kind of want to get your takes on this.
It's honestly just hope.
But the question
we won't have him for much longer, so you gotta just
this kind of why I wanted to talk about
Ryan, this. He's not gonna get, the Yankees are not even gonna give him like a 1-year deal. I think he's
number one.
He's done, man.
The question isn't is Frankie Montas good when healthy, it's if he's healthy. If Frankie Montas is healthy, you expect him to produce. You can't I can't look at the sample size that he put up in his entire career, the stuff he has, and say, yeah, no, he's just a bad pitcher. I think he was hurt. Like, he was clearly hurt.
And you know what? I agree that he was hurt, but I also don't think the Yankees keep him around for the long term. I don't see a situation for it.
But are we really going to sit here and rule out the idea that the Yankees give a 1-year deal to Corey Kluber coming off of not
You
pitching
have
with
me
Texas
thinking
Rangers?
now. You have me thinking now because
1 year with
the Hokie
incentives?
happy hour. Yeah, the Hokie happy hour. He mentioned something about Bader. He's like, I don't think the Yankees would trade Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader if they weren't looking to lock him up. I know the injury, and maybe they look at it a little bit different. They give him a little bit less money, not lowballing per se, but maybe they offer him, just 2 years. I don't know, 28 million, something along the lines. I don't know exactly what he's looking for. Then maybe that'll be
Like a
talking
Rizzo
about,
type deal.
yeah, maybe something like that. Option 3rd year. We'll see. But I don't know. I could see maybe 1 year. Luis Severino, if he pitches, amazing, there could be a team. I don't know. A team that's like, listen, this guy
there's
could be our
decisions to
starter.
be
I can
made.
give
There's
definitely in the
decisions to be
offseason.
made. There's
This-
decisions to be made. That front office is going to be on the phone nonstop in the offseason.
Yeah, this sounds kind of silly to say, but like I think this kind of makes sense. But Luis Severino is going to either pitch poorly enough to not come back, or pitch so good that not that these are the only two outcomes. The two scenarios where he leaves is either he doesn't pitch well, or he pitches so well that another team's throwing him an absolute bag, right? Like that. It's weird, but the Yankees kind of, if you want to bring him back, he can't pitch well enough to compete for a Cy Young.
That's the thing that I'm worried about now because he looks like that good, and I know it's 2 starts. Tomorrow he can have a stinker, but dude,
the stuff is so good.
It's so good. Like I'm not big on analytics.
I think
like
all
you
this
are, but like
ties.
My eyes tell me everything I have to see. Like,
you know what I throw at
his
him?
presence. Yeah.
You remember the deal that Rodon got with the Giants? He had that huge year with the White Sox, but it was just the injuries, and he got a 2-year deal with an option. I think you could give that to Severino. Say, all right, you came off an injury. Teams aren't really full on you in terms of your injury history.
You love New York.
Yeah. Here's a 2-year deal, high AAV. I think it was like $20 million for Rodon. There's an opt out. If you pitch well, you can opt out. We'll rediscuss. We'll take a second look at it. But this is what we'll offer you at first. Maybe he doesn't take that.
I feel like all this talk about these pitchers and these players that we have to make decisions about ties back to what we were talking about earlier, how they need to take advantage of what they got right now.
Yeah.
These guys, the
Yeah,
Yankees
dude,
need
this team
to
is
go
good.
all in, and because they, when fully healthy, we know how scary this team can be with these players that we have currently on the roster. Take advantage of that. You won't have all these guys around forever. You have the guys you're going to keep around for a while, such as like your Judges and your Stantons, and they'll probably keep Rizzo around for quite a while. I don't expect them to just let him go after 2 years. I feel like they'll keep him around for as much as they can, but that's a discussion for another time. But regardless, you have these guys around for a bit, but then you have the guys that are not so guaranteed to stay around for long, such as Glaber, Sevy, Montas, guys like that.
I think Glaber's in a tougher one because, and knock on wood here, we talk a lot about guys like, oh, this guy gets hurt. That Glaber just kind of is there.
Dude,
and he does his
I
job.
was talking about this today. He had
does
Tommy
his
John
job
surgery,
correctly.
and he's very durable. Because my boy was like, dude, we should trade it for a rise. Dude, then he goes down today. I don't know if you saw that. He got hurt today.
No, I wanted to rise, but I
came out of the game.
And
I'm not saying Glaber Torres is better than Luis Ariz, because Luis Ariz, but he's in like 370 right now. He's a top dude. He's like a top hitter in baseball. But I'm just saying Glaber stays on the field. Not saying I'm rooting for injury or anything, but Glaber Torres stays on the field.
He does.
Knock on wood, but he's durable. And we need that.
People are going to be surprised with the money he's going to get in the offseason in 2 years. People are going to be surprised. Someone's going to throw him a bag.
I think the Yankees wait until after the season to just figure out what they're going to do with Glaber Torres. Maybe
Glaber's in that spot, man, where it's like he's playing good enough to where you want to keep him around, but at the same time, it's like, you have this log jam and you have guys in AAA that could be up here. So like, unfortunately for Glaber, he's going to be at the forefront of those decisions that are going to be made when they go down to adjusting the roster in the offseason. Whether you like it or not, that's just the truth. You know what I mean? It's not like, because Glaber Torres is a solid player. I love Glaber. The comments about him being lazy are just false. He's a good player. He hustles. He plays. He does his job. Of course, he's not elite in anything. I don't think he's necessarily elite at something, but
he's just very good. I would say
he's just he's very good, and he's among one of the better second basemen in baseball. It's just true because it's not like second baseman is a high-powered position for many players. It's usually one of the weaker positions on most teams. So you're thankful you have a solid second baseman, but we got guys in AAA that could be up here that aren't. We have people that we can move around. Glaber's going to be at the forefront of that decision. Me and Ryan have talked about it, and I've been saying that eventually they're going to have to decide who they want to keep long-term between like Peraza and Glaber especially. Those two guys, they're going to have to think about who they want to stick around for the long term because, it like maybe there's a way that you could get them both in at the same time. Maybe there is, but
I
at the
don't know.
same time, maybe there isn't. And if there isn't, which right now it doesn't seem so certain, then they gotta figure out something to do. They have to make a
Yeah,
decision because they can't just have this logjam forever. Because then not only are you stalling such say Peraza's development, but maybe you're kind of just leaving Glaber kind of just confused and like what's his fate? Does he you're gonna leave him worrying if he's gonna stick around here much longer, if he's gonna be on his way out. You
yeah.
gotta have a clear pathway for these guys. There has to be a clear pathway for them. You can't just have
Yep.
them kind of stuck where they are.
I'm
And I
I'm
know
a little afraid. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
and like I just wanted to kind of reiterate, like I know Glaber's obviously firm at second base right now, but that might not be the case come off season or next season. That might not be the case. It just might not. I mean, over this off season, they were talking about possibly getting rid of Glaber. So it's
Yeah,
clear that, and I'm pretty sure he's almost near a free agency or something like that. So
yep.
you know decisions are gonna have to be made. They can't just eventually they have to do something. Something has to get done.
You
Got to
can't let
make a
him
clear
walk
pathway
and
for
get
them.
nothing. That's the
You
biggest
can't
thing I was thinking
exactly.
about today.
I've been always that type of guy. I've always been like, if a guy's nearing free agency and you're pretty firm that you're not going to bring him back, make sure you get something in return. Make
Yeah,
sure you try
that's
at
the
least
biggest
try to
thing.
do that. At least try to get something in return.
Don't do half a season with Glaber. Like make him as like, listen, we'll trade. We'll give you him as a rental. Like they're not gonna want that. They're probably gonna want a full season of Glaber. They want to get that full season and then try to extend them. Whatever team he would go to, they were to trade him. Like Hoke said
Hmm.
on the Hoke like happy hour, he was like, I think that's gonna be addressed in the offseason with Glaber.
Yeah,
You
of
mentioned
course.
about the
It's going
logjam
to be
with
waiting
that.
there.
So yeah, I mean we'll see, but he is pretty durable as of right now
Oh
in his
yeah,
career. I feel
no,
like he's
and
never
and
hurt. So
I love that we have that. It just
yep.
adds to the issue more because it's like, okay, he's proven to be valuable. So now what do we do? It's like
Yeah.
now what are we supposed to do? Like
He
because it
just
was
has to
like
stay
at one
consistent. Yeah,
exactly because at one
consistency,
point
no
it was
bad
pretty
offers.
because at one point it looked pretty clear. Like okay, we need to find a way to move Glaber out of here as soon as we can. Now it's like, well, now what do we do? Because he's become pretty valuable again. So now it's like, and we have that, and we got Peraza who's raking in AAA, but doesn't exactly have a clear pathway up here. So like,
How
you
about the
know,
clubhouse? Somebody mentioned the clubhouse earlier. I think it was on Twitter. They're like, dude, you trade Glaber away, after before the deadline, after the All-Star break, and are you gonna mess up the clubhouse? Like it was a shocker.
I
Harrison
mean,
Bader, you trade for Harrison Bader in a
yeah,
walking
I was
boot.
just about to say that. I was
Yep,
just about to say that. I mean, the
that's
clubhouse was like stunned that Montgomery was gone, and not saying
that
that
was
like
Chamo's best friend. It was crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
and like of course, if Bader is healthy, of course, it's proven to be a good trade so far. He's not been so healthy, so that's still to be determined if it's a good trade or not. But for what it's worth, that matters. With the clubhouse and how they feel about players getting moved or players getting traded kind of out of nowhere, or like you held on this bidding war for a while and then you let them go, and then it's just like the clubhouse has feelings about these guys, man. Like they not to sound like that, but they
no,
like these
definitely.
guys. They like
Yeah, I
these
mean,
guys, man.
Judge
They
like picks.
form good
Oh,
friendships with these dudes. Like you said, Judge with Hicks, or Judge and
dude,
Volpe right now become
we
good
don't
friends very
understand.
quickly.
Bro, we don't understand. They're not with their families. Like, think about the
They're
human
not with their
element.
families for
Bring the
6 months
human
out of the
element.
year,
Yeah, dude. Like,
half a
they go
year.
on the road trips. Their kids, they're missing school with their kids. Like,
Maybe they
these are
come
basically
home
their
once in a while
brothers.
when they're on the homestand, but
Yeah.
that's only for so long, and then they go right back out to the field, practice, going on the road, leaving the time zone. They're on the West. Yankees are in the
Some of
West
them are
Coast right now.
dads. Some of them are dads.
Yeah,
Like Garrett Cole's a dad now. He has a bunch of kids. So you have to think about the human element into it. Like,
yeah.
these guys, these are the guys that they're with. They go on road trips together,
It's a business, but
hotels,
they're
all
also
this.
humans, so they're not
Yep.
just AI form of entertainment. I know
Yep.
AI is popping off right now, but baseball is not AI. So, you
Definitely
gotta
not.
you gotta think about that. I know Ryan hasn't had a chance to speak about any of this stuff, but do you have anything to add or anything, or any comments you want to share and touch
There
on
is there
anything?
is one comment I wanted to share. It's from our friends, the Morning Brew Sports. Towards easily a
Shout
top
out
five second
Morning
baseman
Brew.
in baseball,
Love
if
those
not top
guys.
five, definitely top 10. I agree. I
Shout
mean,
out.
at least offensively, like it's hard to replace an offense. Like we're talking Peraza, Volpe, this guy, that guy. Like 120 WRC plus at the major league level is very hard to do consistently. It's not easy. So when you're asking for someone to come up and do that, I think it works well if you have Peraza, Volpe, and Torres, ideally all three of them in the same infield. I don't see a reason to say that one of those two guys are going to be able to replace Torres' offense immediately. And remember, guys, the team's trying to win a World Series this year, right? It's not like we're like a rebuilding team where it's like, all right, can kind of wait it out with these guys and see how it goes. Like, look, we need results. Like, it's a results-based business. The Yankees are trying to win a World Series. You can't just go out there and trade. I personally feel this way. You can't go out there and trade one of the best hitters in your offense.
Top four, definitely.
Yeah, like
definitely
for what exactly as well? If there's like a big left fielder out there, sure, but couldn't you do that with your farm? Isn't that the whole point?
No, you definitely got to be careful about it. You definitely got to be careful about it. You can't just trade him for nothing.
Yeah, and then
Gleyber has value, so.
Yeah, and like the second big thing here that I think is important when we're talking about, Torres is just the depth that lineup has. Right now, they don't have a leadoff hitter. Right now, Torres is one of their best guys at getting on base. Like, people don't notice this. He's got pretty good play discipline this year. He's not striking out a lot. He's walking a good bit. I think, his walk rate's 10.3%, a 343 OBP. Outside of Judge and Rizzo, I think that's the highest OBP on the team, and neither of those two guys are going to lead off. So you take Gleyber out. Who's leading off? LeMahieu? Volpe is struggling. It's not going to be Volpe. LeMahieu's also struggling. It's not going to be, LeMahieu. It's not going to be Donaldson. Bader's out. And even if
you lose a big piece if you trade Gleyber, and I kind of want to touch on this again. Like, from my point before, I wasn't necessarily saying, trade Gleyber. No, I'm just saying, like, realistically, this front office is going to have to decide what to do. It's just true. And it's a tough decision. I have to acknowledge that. It's a tough decision. It's not like, it's easy. It's not like, oh, let's just trade Gleyber. Done. No, it's not like that. It's a tough decision because he's got that value.
And
I love Gleyber.
Peraza's like knocking on the door right now. Dude, he has 10 homers.
I mean, Peraza's at this point. Peraza's on the doorstep, dude. He's right there, right in front of the door. At this point, it's just, will the Yankees open it? Will they unlock that door?
And you know what's crazy to me? Like, my buddy said it too, and unfortunately, you guys know I'm a JD guy. That dude, he can run down the line tomorrow, and tweak something again. And if you tweak something again, it's pretty much done with the Yankees, I would say.
Knock on wood that doesn't happen. I would never wish a player to get hurt.
Of course. Never. We didn't never wish that. But, like, so then it's like, all right, Peraza.
But it is true. It could happen.
You're up. You're the next infielder up. You're our guy. So we'll see what happens
at this point, he might be the next man up. I feel like it'd be kind of a slap in the face if you just called back up as Waldo. Like, that would kind of just be like, oh, you just sent me down, but now you're calling me back up. Like,
he needs to fix some things before they call him back up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just bring Oswaldo back up. You gotta make sure he fixes those things, because that's more important than just, oh, come back up here. We're missing a third baseman. We have options. We have options. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and kind of one guy that, and this is kind of related to our pitching conversation from earlier. And LA Yankee brought him up, and I can't lie, I'm kind of like almost it is bad how much I want this guy. From the MPB, Yoshinobu Yamamoto is my guy. Like first I mainly
know this is gonna sound bad. I mainly know about him because of MLB The Show. He has a card in MLB The Show.
I know he has a card in there. I heard he's pretty bad. Yeah. I haven't played the show, so
I used to have him. I don't have him in there anymore.
Yeah, I heard he's not.
Took him out of my rotation. He's not very good. He doesn't have a
Mario, you got to show this experience with the show, man.
I don't play video games, bro.
He's a
besides Rocket League.
At the most, you're a Rocket League gamer.
Yeah,
you've played from time to time, but usually during the season, you're not playing. Yeah, me and Ryan have played that, and Ryan has been playing on a keyboard and mouse. Could you believe that?
My keyboard and mouse. Oh shit! I got my keyboard set up.
Like
new keyboard, actually. So.
One day we got to make that happen. We got to get us three on there one day.
Yeah, I'm terrible though.
We got to get that to happen. But anyways, back to Yamamoto. What did you want to say about him?
Yeah, no, so like my hot take, like I'm willing to die on this take. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is. I think he's can't miss. I think he's so good. I think he's cannot miss.
I don't know much about him, so I'm intrigued. Tell me.
So, like, we had World Baseball Classic. We get some like pitch data on some of these guys because they had some StatCast stuff. His 4-seam fastball is one really good. It's like one of those power fastballs, works up in the strike zone, all that stuff. His splitter is gross. His command is unreal. He throws his curveball really weird. Not that this makes you better or anything like that, but he actually spins it off his thumb, which is so weird. If you just search up Yamamoto curveball, it almost looks like he's like throwing a frisbee. It's so weird, but his stuff is like really good. It grades out as some of the best stuff in baseball. Like if you took his stuff and you transport it to Major League Baseball on a stuff basis, it'd be like top 10 on the league or something like that. His command is supposedly elite. That was his big thing coming through Japan. And then he got a velo boost, and that's what made him really, really good. He's the back-to-back MVP and Cy Young winner, which they call the Sawamura Award over there. He's the best pitcher in Japan right now. And he's going to be 24 years old when he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Dang.
He's as old as Randy
I'm
Vasquez,
hooked.
guys.
I'm
I just
hooked.
want you guys to be aware
Yo,
of it.
hooked.
what Randy Vasquez respecters on?
I love Randy Vasquez, but I'm just saying, to give you
I
context,
didn't,
he's as young
I
as
didn't, I
Randy
didn't have any
Vasquez. He's a
feelings
year
on
older
Randy
than Will
Vasquez because my only look at him was in spring training and he got lit up. So I was like,
Yeah, he
okay,
did.
I'll hold.
He
it. I was
did.
like,
like
okay,
that.
I'll hold out
I like
hope that
Randy.
he'll do good against San Diego. He did good against San Diego. I'm
You
not
gave him
mad he gave up a
mistake.
home run to
You gave
Juan
him a
Soto.
mistake to
I'm not
top
mad that he
hitter in
gave, but
baseball.
I'm
No.
not mad that he gave a home run to Juan Soto, who has been probably the second best hitter in baseball in the month of May, other than Aaron Judge. So,
Yep.
I'm not mad at that. It
Yeah,
happens.
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it ruined his start because he got the loss in there.
Well, the
Yankees
offense
really helped
also
him
ain't pick him up. So
offensively. So yeah, that's why I
offense
felt
ain't pick
even
him up
worse.
either.
But
So it's
yeah,
a double negative.
I'm also
Yeah, that sucked, but offense didn't pick it up.
I also didn't feel like, not this sounds a little bit weird to say, but like if you look at like kind of the history of first starts for rookies, like Davey Garcia, I think he threw like that incredible game against the Mets, if you guys remember. Luis Heel had that unbelievable first start against, I think, was it against
the
Baltimore?
Orioles.
Yeah,
The Orioles.
he like
Yeah,
shoved.
dude. Yeah.
And he didn't walk anybody. And that was his big
No.
thing. And they're like, holy crap. And then Johnny Brito, his first start against the Giants. Look, all I'm saying is it's not like their starting careers have turned out extremely well so far.
Yeah.
Heel got hurt. Brito got lit up after that, really. It was hard for him to find the strike zone. And then Davey's the one where it's like, yeah, he's just never going to start probably at the major league level. We're like,
wow,
so like,
how many guys we've had up here this year, man.
Yeah, so I'm not sitting here and
it.
saying like because Randy Vasquez didn't pitch at their level in their first start that he's going to be better than them. But that like I wasn't really going to in this first start like I'm going to draw conclusions here. I thought his stuff looked good. I thought there were a lot of positives. But again, just to give you progress
6
here,
strikeouts.
Yeah, just to give you context here, the guy we're talking about is, hey, this guy has good stuff. Maybe with a little bit of work, he can, get a little better. Is the same age as a guy who's currently the best pitcher in the Japanese professional league, which we just saw the World Baseball Classic. They're legit. Like, not saying that the MPB, is better than Major League Baseball, but they're pretty damn good, right? They've got talent left and right. I mean, they've got Roki Sasaki throwing 1,000,000 miles an hour. They've got Murakami hitting the ball 1,000,000 miles an hour. And in the offseason, dude, I'm telling you, like Yamamoto, the first thing you're gonna see when the season ends,
after the parade. After the parade.
Yeah, after the parade. Honestly, at the parade, I'll be on my laptop. Just typing up that Yamamoto article. I'm telling you, I'm already like drafting the name for it. I'm getting that thing out before anyone else gets it out. If I hear that someone's writing an article during the postseason about him, I'll post in the postseason. I don't care.
Okay.
I'll be first. I was first on Yoshida. We didn't get
Yoshida. That one kind of hurt.
Yeah, I was big on Yoshida, bro. I was like, dude, I remember
you got me on. You got me on. Yeah, you got me on.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm hooked.
Can't miss in there.
Yeah,
I'm hooked on Yamamoto now.
I will
officially dub Brian Garcia as the guy who put me onto him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Look, I am big on. I believe that the NPB is the most like they put out such good talent. And for some reason, teams just are like, I'm not really interested. Like Masataka Yoshida, some teams are just not that interested. Or like even Seiya Suzuki, some teams weren't that interested.
Even Shohei Ohtani almost at one point. Like Shohei Ohtani, man.
Dude, I mean, Ohtani was different. I feel like Ohtani was like, everyone was like, holy shit, this guy can pitch and hit. And I think that was.
But I feel like some teams were like kind of aware that they weren't going to have a strong chance.
I feel like no one expected him to be this.
I don't think anyone expected him to be like this good this quickly and at this level to where pretty much he's going to always win MVP unless someone has a historic season like Aaron Judge did last year.
Yeah, it's kind of like the LeBron situation, like
almost, man. Like Shohei is that good, and it's insane how good he is. I mean, I watched him hit nearly a 480-foot bomb just 2 days ago.
Right?
I still think he's gonna get traded at the deadline. By the way, I
could see it. We've had this conversation before.
I'm kind of like 50-50 on it, but I'm leaning more towards yes, he's gonna get traded because as the Angels, you have to get something for him, bro.
Yeah,
you have to get something.
The qualifying offer is not enough.
Bro,
it's
dude,
not.
You know he ain't coming back, man.
Texas he's gonna now, especially they're legit, and you're not gonna beat the Astros. Get something for him.
I
dude.
really feel like he's gonna be a Dodger. I really feel it, man. And I don't. I'm
not
saying I want that to happen. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but I see it, man. I see Shohei wearing the Dodger uniform either in August this year or at least in 2024.
They're gonna trade for him so they can get just show him how it is in Dodger blue. I think
and
they're
in Hollywood, and then he'll love it, and then he'll sign like a I don't know, a 13, 14-year, $500 million contract.
I was thinking that 10 years, 500 million. Yep.
Richest however many years, easily will be the richest contract in sports. We can already expect
most
that.
AAV,
Like,
all that. Yeah.
We already know that's going to happen because when you get Shohei Ohtani, you're essentially you're either signing or trading for your cleanup hitter and your ace. So
the way I view it,
you're signing a 2-in-1.
I think that I don't think the Yankees will ever like be involved with Shohei Ohtani, but the guy after him, the next offseason, not saying they will be, but I have told this to Dylan, like I'm gonna have like genuine heartbreak. I don't care how little rumors there are. I'm gonna collapse to my knees when I see the Yankees never offered a formal offer to Juan Soto. I'm gonna I may not be in this apartment, but I know that I've already picked out spots in my house where like I should stand near during the offseason so I can collapse my knees and not like hurt myself. I'm gonna collapse to my knees when I see that. When I saw the
Even if they don't get him, man, just at least offer him something, man. Could you imagine that outfield, man?
I remember when the Arson Judge tweet came out. Like I almost face planted into my toilet. Like
Dude, the Arson Judge
I legitimately
tweet,
was walking towards my bathroom to go take a shower, and I just collapsed. Like I felt my
Dude,
knees.
I was at
it didn't feel real.
I was at the park that
no,
day.
it was.
I was at the park. I was playing basketball, so I wasn't going on my phone. I get on my phone and I see John Heyman tweeted like 4 minutes ago, Arson Judge going to the Giants, and I'm like, no way. I'm like, are you serious? And then a minute later, I check it again because I'm like, I don't see anyone else saying anything. I check it again. This tweet's been deleted. I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, what happened?
Dude, right when that happened, an hour after, because honestly, like for the first like 5 minutes, I looked at my phone for like a minute. I was just kind of like quiet, like just like looking around my room, didn't like say much. Like, I don't know, who am I gonna call? Who am I gonna text? What am I gonna tweet? All that. Put my phone down. 10 minutes, he deleted the tweet. An hour later, I was like, dude, he's gonna be a Yankee.
Yeah, no,
there was no doubt in my mind.
Once the tweet was gone and he put out another tweet and was like, "Oh, my bad for jumping the gun." I was like, "Yeah, Judge is coming back." I was
I heard from someone legit like an hour later that like I was able to go. I was not gonna be able to go to sleep that night until I got this message.
Yo, I got a similar message.
About how?
Like, dude, yeah, about how he went to go. He was he's like, yo, dude, he's gonna give Judge a call. Go to bed. Don't worry, bro.
Yeah.
I had to present the next morning. And then I got a text like, yo, I think that the Judge deal is coming to a close. And then Morosi tweets it out 10 minutes later. I'm like, dude.
Now I woke up to the Morosi tweet. I woke up. My friend texted me like as I wake up. You know, like when you wake up the first 30 seconds, you're like, you don't know what's going on. I get a text. He's like, congrats on Judge. I'm like, but he was a Mets fan, so I'm like, he's fucking with me.
Yeah.
I checked Twitter, Morosi. I'm like, let's go.
Once he signed that contract, that was like the big hallelujah moment. Like,
no, I remember the 5 minutes where Aaron Judge was a Giant were legitimately the 5 worst minutes of my life. Like, I'm being so serious with you. The Altuve breakup thing, that was bad. Sure, it's a 2.5 year relationship. That's 2.5 years. You could date someone else. Aaron Judge, there's no other Aaron Judge in the world. Okay, you know what I mean? So
that was a nightmarish. That was a nightmarish 5 minutes or
that sounds
minutes,
terrible
whatever.
to say. Yeah. I'm not saying that like baseball matters more than emotional connections.
Oh, it does.
Aaron Judge, man.
The Yankees matter. The Yankees matter more.
Mario has an emotional connection to the Yankees.
I mean, but like seriously, I don't think it's that crazy to say this. Like when the Yankees win a World Series, that's gonna check something. Like obviously 1-1-09, but it's different. I wasn't like grown up. Like I'm not super grown up, but I'm like old enough to kind of really know what's going on and be 162 games like in the grind, full memory, all that stuff. That checks off a checklist that comes way before like 99% of things people could mention. Like, getting engaged. Sure, I would like to get engaged at some point, but I'd like to see the Yankees win a World Series too. Like, I think I'm going to go a little more. A lot of people don't get married. A lot of people don't get married. But how many people never see their favorite baseball team win a World Series title?
A lot of people. That's what they want.
You know what?
They just
ask Cubs
fans
that question.
No, I'm saying as Yankee fans. How many Yankee fans have not seen their team win?
I know, but I'm saying like
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that 1 year
so
generation.
look at them too.
Look, because like kids who grew up in like the 80s as a Yankees fan, they had it rough. I don't want to be anywhere close to that. Right? My dad grew up in the 90s. He came to the U.S. in like 94, bro. Dude starts going to playoff games. And the Yankees are, unstoppable. I'm like,
that's the life.
Are you serious, dude?
That's
Hey
the
man,
life,
I was
yeah.
able to witness '09 when I was 7 years old, and I remember most of that. I don't remember everything, of course, because I was only 7, but
Dude,
I
yeah,
remember a good amount of it. I remember when they won it. I
a
do
little
remember
bit.
when
I
they won it,
remember
and I was pretty
A-Rod with
happy
the
about that.
trophy. That was amazing. A-Rod holding the trophy.
I
That's
remember
like,
random moments from the regular season that year is the funniest
yeah.
stuff.
I mean,
Like,
it
like
was
a
good.
like,
Yeah.
like I remember Melky Cabrera's walk-off single. I remember that. Like,
Yeah.
that was
Dude,
during the regular season. Like,
I loved
some people
Melky,
might not
dude.
remember that, but that was during the regular season. Like,
Dude,
Yeah.
I remember.
my memory's weird sometimes.
The Phillies had Brad Lidge. I remember that. Like he was like the lockdown
Chase
closer.
Utley
Brad
was
Lidge.
killing us in the
Oh
World
my god,
Series.
yeah,
Like,
dude.
Dude,
Like that's what we
yeah.
look back at. You know, you guys are probably
Yeah.
watching. You guys a little bit older than us. You guys like, dude, I remember the '90s. Like these
Like,
kids
oh,
are
I
babies.
remember. Oh,
You
that
know?
wasn't that long ago. Like for us, that's different. We're all in our
Yeah.
20s or close to that. Ryan's, I think,
I'm
what,
18.
18.
I'm
So
not. I just
yeah, Ryan's
became
18. Me and
adult.
Mario are in our 20s. So like very early 20s. So
I was at a young
know.
enough age in '09 where my mom was like, "Yeah, you're not staying up this late. Go to bed." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, go to bed." I woke up with a newspaper on my face. My dad's like, "Yo," I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh shoot, the Yankees won the World Series. Let's go." Wore my Yankee jersey to school that day. I was so
Oh my
pumped,
god,
dude.
it was
And
great.
then the WBC, the 2013. Oh, that was like that 4-year old special, man. I remember
Yeah.
coming into school when the DR won the WBC. Yo, so many Puerto Rican kids. I was talking so much crap,
Crazy.
bro.
Yeah.
The entire day. I walked in there, cocky as hell. I'm like, "Yo, what's good, guys? How we doing? How we feeling today? It's a beautiful morning today." And I'm a morning person too. A lot of people are not morning people. I'm
Yeah.
Definitely not
it's
me.
7. It's 7 in the morning. I'm pumped up with energy. I'm like, "My guys, how we doing today?" They're like, "Shut
Yeah.
up." I'm like, "Hey, just relax. Shut up, so harsh."
Yeah, bro.
If they
It's
would have
clear
won the
that
WBC this year,
it's clear that our moods are
Oh, I
determined
know,
based on how
Ryan.
our
You
sports
would have been
teams do.
loud.
when
Yeah,
when the
dude.
USA lost, I got cooked, but I don't care.
I know, I
was
know.
great on that downfall.
I know,
Japan,
bro,
I'm
I
cool.
know.
Like, look, Japan, we've never played. I don't think we played with the WBC, so I don't have any history with them. The US knocked us out last time, or was it Puerto Rico? I forget. No.
No, it was the US.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they did. No. I remember we lost the game to Puerto Rico and San Diego, but
Yeah.
the US locked us out. I got beef with them. I didn't want to see them win it. I need to see them lose it. And
Gotcha,
also can't
gotcha.
have more than us. Look, Japan already has more than us. They had 2, now they have 3. We're tied for second. I want to keep ourselves not behind another country. Look, Japan has got it like that. All right, they got the whole
Yeah.
professional league. They got it like that. Like I respect that, but you know,
I need the Yankees to win 28. I need
Oh
I need all of us to be at the parade. That's what I need, bro.
bro, I'm going
what
scorched
I need.
earth if the Yankees win the World
I,
Series.
I
need-
might
dude,
still
I
be
need
in
that
Florida,
Gleyber-
dog.
I need
Yeah.
that
So
Gleyber Torres World
I'll have
Series
to
patch.
virtually appear
I
at the
need that.
parade because I'm
Bro,
in Florida.
No, I'm being serious though. Like they're gonna have to suspend me off the app. I know I'm not tweeting
Dude.
right now, but I'm coming back if they win the World Series. Like 100%. Like I don't care
Gotcha.
what stage of my life I'm at. I could be in the lowest moment of my life. The Yankees win the World Series. I'm in the best moment of my life. Like that. I don't know what problem. Like I'm trying to think what problems could be fixed by Yankees World Series. Like it's hot as hell up here. God damn, if I knew the Yankees were gonna win the World Series, I'm chilling up here in this 90-degree room.
It's hurricane
with no
season in
AC right
Florida,
now.
man. So
Dude,
It's gonna be crazy on Yankees Twitter, dude. Imagine like all the positivity. I wouldn't know how to handle like dude,
Yeah.
it'd be like a bunch of me's on there. Like I don't know how to handle that.
Bro, could you imagine? And like all the
You're not wrong,
players
though.
like that we have, like that we love, like what are people gonna say about Gleyber from that point? Like, no one can complain about Gleyber.
He's a world champion. Oh
Yeah,
my
be a
God.
world champion,
Yankees
second baseman
do
for the New
it,
York
bro.
Yankees.
Just
give
do
him
it.
the
Just do
trophy,
it.
man.
Aaron
Just
Judge,
let
he'd
him
be a
hold the
World
trophy.
Series champion with an MVP. I mean, we're
And
talking already
and
going to be in
hopefully-
Monument Park. We know that
Yeah.
already.
Cement
World
the Hall
Series
of Fame
MVP.
case, really, right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I need him to get a World Series MVP.
Could
just
you
for,
I
like-
love how
imagine?
I love how we're dreaming about this right now when the World Series is still another 4
but
months
I mean,
away.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's
World
June.
Series
It's
for
June
this
2nd,
team.
bro. The Yankees haven't played a game in June yet. We're talking about World Series.
Yeah,
But I think it's also
we
the
haven't even
highlight.
reached we're not even close to the All-Star break yet.
It's just like, could you like the perspective? Like, could you imagine? We would be talking about that 2021 team completely differently if they just went on a hot streak in the postseason.
Yeah.
That 2021 team, take away the postseason for a second here. I don't care how that postseason ended. That team made me want to cry myself to sleep multiple
Bro,
nights. And a
that's
World
when I
Series
was-
were just gone.
That was my first team, like on Yankees Twitter, like when I was actually like really
Yeah.
into it. I started late. I started like in August, like tweeting like a little bit. Dude, people were like, "Why are you going to Boston?" I was there for the wild card game. They're like, "Dude, like Yankees fans wanted that season to end."
Yeah.
Like they legit were like, "Dude, that was the worst thing that happened to the Yankees. I wish they didn't make the postseason so Cashman could get fired because we're not winning anything." They were hoping we would lose that game. Nobody had confidence going into that game. And I went to Boston and
That's
I suffer the
Hey,
I
you know
suffer
what?
the
I'll at least be happy that my first full season on Yankees Twitter was Aaron Judge's 62 home run season last year.
That's good.
That was my
mine was
first season on
2020.
Yankees Twitter.
Yeah, 2020 was tough.
That was rough. That was
God.
legit. Like, hey, it's the pandemic. I was in the middle of moving in September, so I knew I was gonna move. I hopped on Twitter, and dude, 2020 Twitter was hilarious. There's like I was just in a bunch of group chats, just like talking to a bunch of like people my age, and then like you would just get people like raiding your group chat. They would just start kicking everyone from it. Dude,
funny.
such a time. And then 2021 was that was like the big Yankee. I feel like a lot of people like just got like 2020 was a big year for like a lot of people coming on Yankee Twitter.
Yeah,
that was a rough year to be on Yankee Twitter.
Dude, that was like you were 500.
Yeah,
they were like 500 through that whole.
They started off like what, like there was 8-2, and then they just free fell to like 500.
Do you remember like there was a point in time
where
crawled their
way into the playoffs?
Do you trade Aaron Judge?
There was a lot going on there. Like,
it's like
he's gonna have his contract year. You would give Aaron Judge up. You get a year, so he's not really a rental. I was like, nah, we're not doing this, right?
I remember they were doing that in 2021 on that Mets game we were talking about earlier, the July 4th stuff. Jeff Passan was on ESPN before the Sunday Night Baseball game, and they were talking about, do they trade Aaron Judge at the deadline?
Yeah, dude,
they were actually talking about it, like having a legit conversation about it, and I'm like, oh God, we're doing
I remember
this now?
tweeting the Yankees should like retool, keep Judge, but like, move a couple bullpen pieces, get some prospects back, play the young guys. And like that team just took off like randomly. August was just like, Andrew Velasquez is a guy now, and Brett Gardner was really good in the second
started
half.
a playoff game. I think it's so funny.
Dude, Odor, Gallo. I mean,
oh man,
dude, do you remember Rougned Odor having like Rougned Odor
with his little helmet thing?
He's so cool. Rougned Odor is awesome.
Yeah, bro.
Like I don't care. I legitimately do not care I don't care about his stats. He's so cool. He's awesome. He's just like his little helmet thing.
Yeah, a little helmet. Yeah, do that.
I love him for punching Bautista, man.
Oh my God, dude. Do you remember the I don't know if you guys remember this game, but it was that like Boston comes to town. This was like back when we couldn't beat Boston to start the year. This was like our first series. I think we beat them. And the Yankees just clobbered the crap out of Boston. I think Odor hit a home run off some lefty or something like that. Dude, it's just Odor hit some home runs where it's like the Yankees are up 2 or 3. He hits the home run. He does a little pimp thing. You're like, we're winning today. Today's this. We're cruising. We're finally gonna have a cruise. Even though that rarely happened. Like,
I remember Florial had a homer against the Phillies in 2021. Yeah, that was big. Like he hit it was like a porch just right over the porch.
Remember Ryan Lamar? Didn't he have
Ryan Lamar, he had a walk-off. That same game, I think it was, he had a walk-off.
Yeah, and he hit a home run against the Red Sox.
Dude, crazy. Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Do you guys remember the very, very fun time in which Eric Kratz and Davey Garcia were like a battery mate?
Dude, that was crazy.
Hey, respect Eric Kratz.
We couldn't go into the stadium, bro. I wish I was on Twitter for that time because nobody was in the stadium, dude. It was just weird. Like us talking
Everyone
baseball.
Basically watching the games through social media,
And people were like, the season doesn't count or whatever. And then, like, Tampa Bay was like, they're always talking at Yankee Stadium. Yeah.
It's still a weird season to me, man. 2020 is such a weird season. Like, it may sound stupid, but like I've always been kind of someone that like maybe in hindsight it would be better if that season didn't happen. It just felt like a forced season. But I still
it hurts Dodgers fans the most, bro.
It hurts Dodgers fans because they won it, and
they have never won it.
They won it in a season that was played in 60 games, and if you combine the postseason, less than 100 games. So
we would still be pissed because we would never got on a parade if we would have won the World Series that year.
Yeah,
so it would still feel like it'd be like 28 with an asterisk on. That's what people will tell us. So
honestly, one thing that I think is kind of not talking. That 2020 team, they were right. They were this close to beating the Rays. Like honestly, if they get past the Rays, it would have gone.
If Mike Brasso doesn't hit a home run,
dude, the Rays were 3-0 on the Astros, and the Astros almost came back. They forced the game 7.
Oh, I forgot. I did forget about that.
Yep.
But I feel I still feel like the Yankees
and the Astros were under 500 that year. Too.
I feel like the Yankees. I think that was the Yankee. The Yankees were one starting pitcher away that year, and it sucks because it was the year Severino got hurt and Paxton got hurt, and it's like.
And we started J. Happ and Davey Garcia.
J. Happ is on my shit list. I don't hate a lot of former Yankees. He's on my shit list. Because the comments after that game, though, kind of like almost complaining about having to come out the bullpen. Dude, you stink. How else are you supposed to be used? You're terrible. You're terrible, man. Like, you're awful. Look, like, it's like, could you imagine if like Aroldis Chapman came out of like the ALCS, be like, I was overused in that series, man. Like, I don't know what you guys expect. Yo, he would never be able to like walk the streets of New York. J-Hap, not saying he shouldn't. Like, I think it gets a little too crazy if like you feel like you can't walk the streets of New York because of what you do as an athlete. That's a little bit crazy to me. Fans, that's crossing the line, obviously. But yo, J-Hap, man, I got problems with him. Like, people hate Ellsbury a lot. I don't hate Ellsbury as much as I hate Hap. Ellsbury never made like weird comments after. Like, he was just like, all right, yeah. No, yeah, he sued the Yankees, but I would sue the Yankees for the money too. You got to be about your bag. I get it.
He wants his money.
Yeah, I can respect that. Look, you sued for your bag. There's a reasonable. That's like millions of dollars on the line there. I get that. But yo, complain about your bullpen, man. J-Hap. What? And we brought him. Do you remember we brought him in 2018 to beat the Red Sox?
And
then he got
he was the Red Sox stopper.
Yeah, he's the Red Sox killer.
Stopper.
It's like,
yo, Trevor's talking about we got to read the comments.
We
quit reading the comments.
I've
been trying to read them a little bit though.
My phone is like dead, so I haven't been able to check the chat. We apologize. We haven't been going through the comments.
The dumbest shit. Yeah, saying I want to lose in the playoffs in 2021.
Let's see.
They are loading up for Ohtani. Listen, I'm kind of drinking that Kool-Aid a little bit. Maybe the Yankees trade Ohtani. I don't think they get rid of Stanton though. People are like, Yankees would have to trade Stanton.
They wouldn't.
Probably. I don't know. I don't think they trade Stanton. I think he's gonna stay here
maybe you disagree with me here, but like, is it really the worst thing in the world if you trade for Ohtani, he doesn't come back? Like, you know what the situation is.
Depends on the result of the playoffs.
You gotta win the World Series. Yo, you don't win a World Series.
That's the way I see it. But I agree with Mario 1000%. If you trade for Ohtani,
you said the A guy, right? Yeah. This is the way I view it.
Yeah.
Cole, Ohtani, and Rodon. 1, 2, 3. Severino's your 4. Severino's your 4.
Like, yeah, dude. This is the way I see it. Like we were saying earlier, and I agree with Mario. If you trade for Ohtani this season and you can't guarantee he's coming back, you got to win the World Series this year.
Yeah,
you got to.
You
got to win the World Series this year. You have to. If you don't, it's a failure. Simple as that.
For half a season, Aaron, just place him up for half a season. Half a season. Ohtani.
Dude, the one thing is, it will. I know, like Yankees, they're like, dude, Yankees are prospect huggers. It will hurt me seeing Jason on another team. It will. I've been dying to see that guy in a Yankees uniform.
Same.
That's the only thing. And I love Austin Wells. I met him, a couple days ago.
Guy.
Awesome guy, great guy, rakes and all that. But it would suck seeing Jason elsewhere with all the hype and all that. Like Volpe too. That's why I didn't want him to get traded because we've been waiting. We've been waiting for Volpe and Dominguez. And I know some fans are older that are listening to us. They're like, dude, you know how many prospects don't pan out for the Yankees? But I don't know. Jason feels a little bit different, man.
I know. He's also like, look, I'm gonna just say it flat out, dude. The Yankees need a Dominican superstar. Robinson Cano was my goat. He was my idol, man.
Yeah, bro.
Cano, come on.
Yeah, I know, bro.
My goat. But in all seriousness,
Seattle and died off. But
when he signed with Seattle, my heart was shattered. That was my favorite player growing up, outside of A-Rod. Which again,
I was shattered when Matsui left the Yankees. I was shattered when Matsui left the Yankees. I was a big Matsui guy.
Matsui's a go. I love Matsui.
Yep.
But like the way I view it is, look, Brian Cashman, as you mentioned, that's his character. He's always kind of like, and it's kind of to a fault at times. Very, just doesn't want to make a mistake move. Just try it once. One deadline. Just one deadline.
I mean, they checked in last year, right? They checked in last year.
Yeah, look, the way
I don't know, dude. We'll see.
The way I view it is,
the videos and live streams when it gets close to the deadline, we're gonna have a lot of speculation, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're gonna be speculating.
I just feel like you have Cole, Ohtani, and Rodon as your 1, 2, and 3. I don't care if you don't win the division, a wild card series. I mean,
just get in the playoffs and then do the rest from there.
People say to
take the rest from there.
Right, like it's a disadvantage to be in the wild card because you don't have your 1 and your 2 for game 1. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you're like, yeah, we don't have our 1 or 2 for game 1, but we have Carlos Rodon. Now, how many pitchers in the American League when healthy are better than Carlos Rodon?
Not many.
Maybe like 2 or 3. Maybe.
All the rankings had Carlos Rodon as a top 5 pitcher in baseball.
Look, I think Rodon when healthy is top 10.
Yeah, better than Garrett Cole.
It's
which I actually disagree with, but that's how
good
Rodon is. That's how good Rodon is, though.
But like, it's like what, DeGrom. The 2 guys I would argue are better than him are on his own team.
Yeah.
So like, or not on his own
Stop.
team, but in this hypothetical arc. That's your game 1 starter. Your game 2 starters, Luis Severino. Your game 3 and 4 stars are Cole and Ohtani. Like, it would be really hard to lose in the postseason like that. And then that middle of the lineup, you have Judge. You can get really crazy there. You could try Ohtani too. When Judge likes hitting 3, you could get a little crazy with that, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you want to do that though. But you have, like Judge, Ohtani, to Stanton, to Rizzo. I mean, Glaber leading off.
They might even let Ohtani lead off at that point.
Yeah,
Go
dude.
Yeah,
Go Ohtani, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Glaber.
But that probably won't happen. But that would
it's
cool. It's
crazy
cool to
'cause
dream.
we're-
It's cool to dream.
We're dreaming it now,
go-
but we all know if we do not get Shohei Ohtani at the deadline, we are going to be crushed.
I'm
and we're
not going to be
oh, we could have
crushed,
had him, but
it's the A move. We said, I'm just saying.
it is
Mario,
the A move. It's the A plus move. That's the go all in move. That is
the way I look
you're
at
going
it is,
for it right now move.
I'm always going to look like I'm a big data guy and I love our prospects. So I'm always going to be kind of like a little bit more on the prospect huggy side.
Yeah.
But then like and Mario, this is why I really like having your perspective on things. I feel like you have this side of you, like you have a good feel for the game. You kind of understand, not just from the fan perspective, but like just thinking from the player perspective. Could you imagine if Shohei Ohtani walked into that clubhouse, how a guy like Jose Trevino would react to that, a Luis Severino
awesome.
and Aaron Judge? Like you just like as a player, you gotta like there's a human element to this game. End of the day, that dude walks in that clubhouse, even if it's not Ohtani, if just a really high talent star level player walks into that clubhouse on August 1st, change the game.
Dude, another thing is like as players, you see, listen, our front office really believes in us guys.
Yeah.
They see we're a piece or two away. They're getting that piece, guys. This is our year. We have to go out and win the World Series. That's how those guys see it. They see it as like fuel. Like, okay, this guy's going to help carry us a little bit more, take some weight off our shoulders, help us out. August is going to be a struggle. We know August is going to be a struggle. They're going to be, listen, nobody's running away with the division. That's the way I see it. Everybody has flaws. They're, it's the standings are going to be switching up a lot. So, listen, nobody's going to run away with the division. We'll see what happens. But, you get a left fielder or, hopefully that would be awesome. You get Shohei Ohtani, bro. That'd be a huge, confidence booster to the locker room, which is huge.
And,
Absolutely.
kind of looking at it from the pitching staff standpoint, like last year when Montas walks in that door, not to diss Montas, but if Luis Castillo walked in that door, especially you think of that St. Louis series, that was Montas's debut and he got shelved.
I was there.
Could you imagine if Castillo was there and he just shuts down the Cardinals? How different does that team feel? Like they put up runs that day. They would have won if they got good pitching that day.
They put up runs and it was hot.
Right.
And
Cole
Frankie's
has been
first
struggling
start.
a little bit. So, and you're thinking from Cole's perspective, hey, I can kind of say, all right, let me kind of retool what I'm doing here. Now he ended up turning a great performance in the postseason. So I don't think Cole needed any help there. But, in the sense of just thinking of it from a confidence perspective, again, we're not saying just like Shohei Ohtani. It doesn't have to be Shohei Ohtani for you to get this feeling. But imagine if some dude walks through that door that can really help your pitching staff. Imagine from a bullpen perspective, you're like Wandy Peralta. You're pitching 2 out of every 3 days, and a really good reliever walks through the door. You're like, all right, I can get a couple off days now. You know what I mean? I think
that's the bullpen and show.
Team, yeah, I feel like that 2021 team, they took off when they got those acquisitions. Not just because it's like, because Joey Gallo straight up didn't hit well here, and Rizzo wasn't like crazy here in that second half. But just there, hey, this front office is having these guys walk through this door. This front office bought at the deadline. They believe in us. Let's go do something. And they made the postseason. That team was dead in the waters for most of the year. Postseason result wasn't great, but when you go, I thought that 2019 team, I thought that team needed to pick me up. I think them not doing anything at the deadline, I think that's what really slowed them down. If they did something at the deadline, you buy in. 2017, that team was struggling in June. Their bullpen was on fire. You bring some guys in. That team plays with their head on fire. They almost make it they almost win that division, and they go into the postseason. And they, as you mentioned, come back down 2-0. So just have a guy walk in. Just have a guy walk in. That's all you really need to do.
That's it.
That's pretty
But
much it,
kind of, I'm just gonna skim through a couple last. A lot of these are like Ohtani's not happening. We know Ohtani's not happening, but just more so
we just get excited. That's it.
And not just that. It's just more so the understanding of like having a good, like just a really good player walk through that door. This team really, not that this team
my
needs
computer
that
battery
right
is
now.
running low, so
Yeah, we'll wrap up soon because it's also almost 1:00 in the morning, and I kind of need sleep.
Got you.
But yeah, no. With that being said, I don't know if you guys have any like final things you guys want to look at in the comment section that intrigues you. Again, we really apologize for not diving into the comment section as much today as we usually I
had a good time though. This was fun.
It was. This was dope.
Really enjoyed it.
Look, I really enjoy. Look, Dylan told me his computer died, so his thing is kind of frozen for now.
Okay.
He's gonna say he might try to join his phone. To help us kind of wrap it up here. That's a good question here. As a stat guy, what do you think about acquiring Jordan Hicks? He's struggling. He might be available by a trade. Blake might fix him. He's very much like Clay Holmes. Yeah, he's that dude who throws like 102 with the Cardinals. I don't know if you're aware of him. He throws gas.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He's pretty nasty. Just
man. But like as they said, kind of like Clay Holmes when he came over, he was like, "Who's this guy? He throws hard and he's got some nasty pitches." But it's like I'm gonna get rid of the overlay just for now, just because like we're all cut out.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah. But kind of weirdly enough, Jordan Hicks would be. I mean, his stuff is that good. He's a big ground ball guy, throws gas. I mean, I would be down. I think the Cardinals are in a position. He's a free agent at the end of the year, actually. So the Cardinals are selling.
Matt Blake.
Honestly, that's a really good. I could totally see that. I think that's going to happen. Honestly, put it in the bank now. I'm going to put this back up. Yankee Clipper. I think it's going to happen. Actually, this seems pretty realistic.
All right. With the hot take, I
think it's going to happen. Oh, Dylan's back, so we can throw him back in here. Dylan, what's good? I don't. Oh, okay. I don't know how you did that, but yeah,
I'm on my cell phone.
No, I know that. I didn't know how you flipped it around. I was like, how did you do that?
I'm on my cell phone. So
how much longer do we have to ask for Jock?
He's hurt right now, no? And he hasn't played the field all year. So
I'm not gonna lie, listen. Guys, we need a left fielder. I mean,
yeah,
that's what we need, man. I can't with another DH. You can't try to figure that out, dude.
Low key, Michael Conforto. He's kind of hitting this year.
There's been some love for him of late. Conforto can do. I don't know, man. That's just about me, just the way I was last year. Unless it's like a crazy asking price, man, go out and go get the A guy for left field.
I want to see how Bellinger plays after his injury, but if he plays the way he was playing to start the year, I think that's the A guy because he's a really good defender, really fast. The issue is just like coming off the year he had the year before. You're kind of like you want to see more. I don't want to trade for a guy and then he just completely sucks over here. So yeah, hold on.
Go get.
No, go ahead before you go because
Jake Fraley. By the way, I just saw Yankee Clipper Jake Fraley. I was there. I saw him playing Cincinnati, dude. By the way, I love his walk-up song. His walk-up song is fantastic. I don't know. I'm a big fan of him. I don't think he would like want to like cut his hair or shave his beard, but I wouldn't mind. He's not the A guy.
No, he ain't the A, but it's something.
He ain't the A guy. Listen, or the Yankees could do something like this. I don't know if they would. How like the Braves went out and they went and got 3 outfielders, and they all like clicked that one year when they won the World Series. Was that 2021?
Yeah.
If the Yankees do something like that, if they don't think Oswaldo can contribute this year, maybe they go out and go get 2 rentals or something like that. I don't know.
Low key.
Listen, that Braves team.
137 WRC.
Yo, I know he's been getting a lot of love. I'm hearing he does K a lot though.
Yeah.
Yankee fans weren't crazy about that because they're like, oh, more strikeouts, but a lefty bat, preferably, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? Stay away from the righties, but I wouldn't mind Soler. Like,
if it was Soler or nothing, I think you're taking Soler. I think that's kind of the. And also, it's just like we've seen him get traded and do it before, so it's like that's another thing too. And that homer off the Astros, man.
Dude, yeah. When he's
I feel like they just need the issue. One thing, I don't think one thing is just like, is there a player on the Astros where like, obviously everyone's scared of Judge. Like I get that, but like, is there a player on the Yankees where like Astros are like, God, I hope I don't see this guy. You know what I mean? I feel like Soler kind of be like that, like not this guy again.
Okay.
And that's kind of like
I like that.
That's such a like because I feel like that's such a weird thing to hang your hat on, especially because like that's a hot streak in the postseason. He could go out and just like, all right, I'm not on a hot streak. I'm going to strike out a million times. Like that could also happen, which is the worry there. But Soler would be like an interesting, kind of if nothing else comes up. But I wanted to put this one.
Preferably lefty.
I feel like it's not we can't have a trade conversation if we're not bringing up a LA Yankee King trade. My ideal deadline is trade away Stanton and DJ, trade for Bellinger, Peterson, Kevin Biggio, Kyle Freeland, and I'm assuming that says that's spelled Hendricks with a C, so it's got to be Kyle Hendricks. It can't be Liam Hendricks, because that's with just the K.
Maybe it's Liam. Maybe it's Liam. We don't know, but
no.
Yeah, no.
Kyle Freeland is not moving me, boys. What do we think? Kyle
He
Freeland's
I
not
pitched
disapprove.
well.
Volpe.
He pitched well in a wild card game against a couple years ago, but that's about it.
When he pitched well in that wild card game, I was a freshman in high school. I just finished my first year of college. I think we're past the Kyle Freeland days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think he's kind of cooked, guys. Not terrible, but I think he's.
Yeah, Liam. He said Liam Hendricks.
Oh, Liam. Okay, Liam Hendricks. I could low key get behind, but also he's. I mean, coming back from cancer is tough, man. I don't want to dude. The dude's coming back from. Do you know how hard that is to come back from? Like, how do we know? One, first off, the fact that he's back in baseball is crazy. Two,
For real.
Shout out him, man.
Shout out.
I'm and this sounds stupid to say because I'm supposed to be thinking from the team perspective. From his perspective, is it the best thing for Liam Hendricks for the dude to go out and then have to pitch in New York and then in a high pressure postseason environment less than a year after being cancer? If he's up for the challenge, hats off to him. But I feel like I'm more concerned for him than I am of the Yankees are gonna trade for him, he's gonna stink. It's more I'm more concerned for his health, for him, for hey, maybe the guy shouldn't be asked to pitch in New York. Not even a year removed from remission. That's crazy. I'm not saying LA Yankee King is crazy. He's on the mound pitching. If he's on the mound pitching, I assume he's going to be available. And I assume a team's going to try to trade for him. But I don't know. I don't want to put that on him. I also I kind of don't want to put that on
for someone to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that wrong? Weird? I just don't want to put that on the guy. I don't want the dude to pitch. And what if he blows the game in August? And dude's I hate this guy. I don't want to see that. No, if someone says they hate me, I wouldn't be mad at them. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it takes away. Point. Trevor puts, he said he's been horrible pitching Yankee Stadium, especially in October. Here's the thing: he's bet against the Yankees. You take away the one team he can't pitch against. Maybe that's the fix, right? He can't pitch against. He can pitch against everyone else.
He can't pitch against the Yankees. He was the Yankees, so.
Well, really, it's Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Judge owns him and Kimbrough. Remember when they had him in the same bullpen? And we went to Chicago and we beat the crap out of both of those guys. Even the Field of Dreams game, we beat the crap out of those two. Kimbrough's, I've never been scared of him in my life. Even when he was with the Red Sox, never scared.
No, he was elite.
He was at one point.
And I was never, not for a second, crap, he's coming in the game, it's over. I think G-Man Choi had a game-tying home run off of him in 2017. Or some random Yankee.
G-Man Choi also has a home run as a Yankee. So we can't.
Yeah, I think that was the one. I think that was it was a game-tying one against Kim. I was in the car, listening to it on the radio. It was that weird 18-inning game or something like that. Where Rick Porcello came in out of the bullpen or something like that.
Oh shoot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird game. I really love the deadline that I pitched. I don't. If you could pitch that if Kyle Freeland pitches for the Yankees this year, something horrible has happened.
You're not a GM.
Do you know how bad it would be if Kyle Freeland had to pitch for the Yankees this year? How bad things would get for us to get to that point? Because we're over here we don't want no average starter. We're not looking for an innings eater. We could turn to the farm. Say, look, give some Randy
Shane
Vasquez.
Bieber has been getting some love, by the way, from some Yankee fans on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen that.
His strikeout stuff is so down this year that I'm not.
Dude, I've been looking. I mean, he got smacked by the Orioles. If he can't pitch against the AL East, I don't want to base it off one star, but just recency bias. We're human beings. Seeing him get smacked by the Orioles, dude, I'm nah, man. And it's gonna cost an arm and a leg. Man. I'm good.
Attractive.
Yeah,
dude, he has a 16.9% strikeout rate this year. That's the lowest by far of his career. I'm good on that. And secondly, here, as you mentioned with just the price you have to pay, 1 and 2. Name the last Cleveland starter they've traded that hasn't broken down the second they've gotten traded. Carrasco, multiple injuries with the Mets.
Yeah.
Kluber. He pitched one inning with the Texas Rangers.
He's a shell of himself.
Clevenger. He got Tommy John surgery the year he got traded there. Literally in that postseason. That's 3 right there. Bauer got dealt, stunk with the Reds, was really good with the Reds, and then all that other stuff. He's the only guy who's pitched well outside of Cleveland. Even then, he was a nutcase. So that's 4 guys right there that they got traded, and they immediately got worse when they left. Immediately. That's 4 guys.
I'm good. I'm good on Bieber.
Yeah,
just wanted to mention that because that's been a little bit of talk on Yankees Twitter, but man, I just
probably not a good idea to go.
Arm and a leg, I'm good, man.
I wanted Eduardo Rodriguez, but he's hurt now.
He wouldn't have been bad.
I think it would have been a good fit. He's a lefty. He has pitched in the AL East before, but he has a finger injury, and I don't think he's gonna come back to the deadline. So it's I'm not going to trade for a guy who's hasn't pitched in July. I'm not going to do it again.
Yep.
And I don't know who else is even available. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, no.
But,
And also, I just want to point out real quick. Sorry that I keep moving the camera. It's just I'm holding with my cell phone.
Yeah.
So
no, I hear you.
Good.
My computer died on me, so I came back through my cell phone. So I'm literally holding it with one hand and trying to keep it steady as possible. So just bear with me. I'll make sure the next time that my computer stays charged so that doesn't happen again.
And Samuel Parkey says, ever since Tex hit that grand slam off of Cabrera, has moved the soul. Dude, when he hit, look, I know that's like that 2016 team didn't make the postseason. That's one of my, that was such a fun team in the second half. That team rocked. That team was so fun. They had Judge co-op. Sanchez was should have won Rookie of the Year.
Gary,
Rookie of the Year. Oh, Michael Fulmer. I don't care.
Michael Fulmer, yeah.
Could have been Gary. Oh, but he played the full season. I don't care. Dutch. Jordan Alvarez won a Rookie of the Year in 80 games. Let me,
Yeah, for real.
Gary was that guy. But with that being said, I think it's a good point for us to wrap up. It's 1 a.m, and I know you have a flight to LA, so I don't want to.
I gotta leave. I gotta wake up at 5:30. My flight's at 8:30, so I gotta pack up my stuff. Right now. I don't have everything packed, but
yeah, dude, bro. Safe travels. Look, I've done a flight to LA. There's a point, bro. Yeah. You probably, I mean, I don't have to. You travel all the time. I don't gotta.
Dude, but it's tough. 6 hours across the country. Severino pitches, so that like gives me like the extra energy. Love Cole.
It'll be worth it.
But the fact Severino's on the mound, it gives me the extra juice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, the one thing I will say, the last time I took a flight to LA was last year. And during that flight, Andrew Heaney threw 7 innings of 1-run baseball. So that's my only, it's my only memory.
At least you have that. At least you got Andrew Heaney masterclass.
Yeah, dude, great times. But hey, Yankee Clipper asked a really good question. Tomorrow night, same time. So we're not going to be able to do live streams after each game of the West Coast trip because
the game's going to be going on at the time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this game starts at like 10. I'm pretty sure
this one starts at 10, but this weekend they have 2 7 o'clock
7.
games. So
those 4 o'clock my time.
Those ones will be able to go live on.
Yeah. So
as long as we're both available and stuff, but I could see. I think we'll be able to.
Yeah. So. Depending on how tomorrow's game goes, man, tomorrow night, same time might be like 2 minutes following a terrible loss or an amazing win. So
it would have to be like
a really good win.
It would have to be
something
something crazy has to happen for us to go live after tomorrow night's game.
If Luis Severino throws a no-hitter, I'm going live. I don't care. I will go live.
If he throws a no-hitter, we are going live. We will make sure.
We
ain't waiting. We ain't wasting no time with that.
Yeah. You know what? Fine. Okay. If Luis Severino throws a no-hitter, I will find a way to go live. I don't care. Deal? That's a deal right there.
That's a deal. That's a deal. Other than that, though, I'm sure we will just go live after the other 2 games for sure because those are actually at good times. They're not at 10 o'clock at night. So
yeah, we'll be back doing these regular.
We haven't been able to do them regularly because they've been on the West Coast and it's weird times. People are sleeping. Want to make sure we get as many people involved as possible.
Yeah, despite what I may lead you guys to think, I actually do sleep. I do spend time off of Fangraphs, so I make sure I do that.
We're dedicated to this, man. My computer died, but I didn't give up. I came back on my phone. So
yeah, I drank a Red Bull before this, so
Respect.
But with that being said, look, I know Mario's got a flight, so I don't want to keep you up too long, Mario.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
man. Really
appreciate you guys.
On, dog. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll definitely do these more. Obviously, we'll do post-game ones. We'll keep bringing people on. We hope to see Mario again. Mario, a friend of the podcast. Mario, is there anything you'd like to shout out before you go?
Yeah, I got a podcast going on, Just the Bronx for Nothing. You guys want to check that out? But nah, man, I had a good time. Thank you, man. I had a good
time, guys. By the way,
yes,
just
sir.
Want to clarify that, so you should.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah, definitely should check it out.
Extra endorsement.
Thank you for coming on again. I know I asked you last minute, but I appreciate it.
Bro, no problem, guys. I had a good time talking, man. I get 4 hours.
Great time, man.
Sleep on the plane, man, and hopefully I see 3 Yankees wins, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, we'll put a link in the description to your podcast. And
your
we
Twitter will
make sure
you follow him on Twitter. Great Twitter.
Yeah, you guys see the handle there. You see all our handles. My account's dead, so do that with your own.
His return date is to be determined.
Yeah, it's whenever the Yankees slump. That's because they're playing really well, so I can't come back right now because that would be like jinxing. But with that being said, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys can check us out on a various amount of platforms: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course Facebook and this YouTube page. And we'll see you guys in the next live stream or morning podcast. Peace out, guys. We'll see you. Have a great one. See you tomorrow night.